Okay. And then go live on Twitch. I thought I already authorized this. Why is it? Part 3. Start streaming. Okay. Are we live on Twitch and are we live on YouTube? Can you guys verify? Also, where is...
Move anything on my phone.
I don't see it on
any
YouTube.
ruined setups. So.
No, you just gotta be there and looking pretty.
Yep. You don't worry about nothing.
Live on Twitch.
Live on Twitch. What about the tube?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
Okay. Hey guys, we're live again. Happy holidays. We're here for our part 3 of our set review. We were not able to finish yesterday. It went on a little bit longer than we had hoped, and we had some other stuff to do in the evening, but we're here to finish it up. We've just got the battlefields left, the legends themselves, and the signature spells of the legends. So if you guys haven't been here before to check any of these streams out, you could check the VODs, by the way. I saw some people commenting saying, hey, I tuned in the middle of the stream and I missed you guys reviewing Prize of Progress, and it seemed like you guys wanted to hear us shit on that card. So yeah, you can go watch those VODs. They're up on YouTube right now. But yeah, if you haven't watched any yet and you're just tuning in right now, or this is the first VOD you're watching, we are reviewing these cards from a score of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being an all-around broken great card. We're going to be starting with the battlefields, and I have Emperor Dais. This is
real quick.
What's up?
So we got a little side event going.
Oh yes, Alex will explain his side event.
Yes.
Yes, I have a little side
Into the
quest. So
stream.
every New Year's and Christmas Day, I get hammered, much to the dismay of my family. And I don't drink often, but this is a tradition for me every year. So this year, we decided to do a little, I decided to do a little stream drinking game. So I'm going to post the rules in the chat for you guys there so you guys can, what is it? Wait, ooh, that didn't post correctly. But pretty much, I've got an 8-pack of Sun Cruisers. I've got 4 nips of Grey Goose. And if I run out of all of that, I got more liquor downstairs. Hopefully we don't get that far because I probably won't make it through the stream. So pretty much I'm going to
I think things might go south if you're down, if you're through all that.
We're down a whole
yeah.
pack of Sun Cruisers and four nips of... How much are these? These are 50 milliliters.
We might start getting some pretty erratic ratings out of Alex.
Yeah.
This card's broken.
Pretty much you guys can play along with me. I've got the rules. I'm going to post them in chat here. You guys cannot get me drunk. Only they can. And I told them to not be total degenerates about it. Please, for the love of God.
Oh, and for the people in the chat, if you are drinking along, drink responsibly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the rules are getting posted. Wait. Give me 1 second here.
Next time we'll let you guys use channel points to give him shots and you can kill him or something like.
Yeah, next time. Yes. Next time you guys can really run me through it, but let's see if this format. It's not letting me. Oh, I have to press the.
Yes, part 3 previews.
Yes.
Oh, there's
reviews, not previews,
limit.
but yes. What?
Getting through the rest of the set.
Oh, Jesus.
There's a character limit.
There's a character limit on YouTube. There's a character limit on how much I can actually post.
Just paste it in.
Just paste it in a Google Doc. Share the link to the doc.
I mean, it's not even that long.
Okay.
It's like you can just post it.
Or yeah, post it in 2 parts or something.
Cut it into 2, right?
Yeah, post it in 2
I'll
parts.
take care of it for you here. I'll just paste it into the
just
YouTube
post
chat.
Yeah, just paste the rules for me, will you, buddy?
Yeah, there you go. I got you.
Wait, that's not even. You didn't even format it correct. What?
Oh my god, I gotta format it too.
Look at it. You can't even read that, bro. What did you
that's
do?
fucking. I just copy pasted it. Okay, we'll do it.
All right, put it in the doc. Put it in the doc. Just
Yes,
put it in the doc.
reviews of the previews. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Oh wait, these are red.
Starting off strong. Can't even get the drinking game right.
Variety pack. Oh, all right. Well, yep. You guys are gonna find out why my family does not invite me over for holidays.
Yeah, that one I
I'm
believe.
kidding. They do. No, I'm kidding. They do. My sisters don't though. They do not allow me at any of their functions.
Alex starts a rant as one of these. How are you gonna avoid yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the man's gonna be.
Well, that's why it's just take a drink. See, take a drink. I can control how much I'm actually drinking.
Sure.
Versus, like finish the whole drink or take a shot is just a definitive amount. Like, is this a White Claw? No, it's a Sun Cruiser actually, which is like White Claw in 2025.
Yes, White Claw with different name.
Yes, I got
Not
some
bad.
different booze downstairs, but we've got the shots. I needed
Yep,
something
copy
light.
paste it from here. Does this work? Nah, it doesn't look like it will.
One of our
What's
people is
that
saying
card?
audio is low.
Yeah, they were saying that yesterday too.
I saw
don't
like
know
one
if there's
person
just,
say
like,
that yesterday. I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
just like one person that happens, or what do you guys say, chat? Is the audio
Yeah.
really
audio
low?
weak?
Okay, it sounds good on Twitch according to one of our
I don't know if
Twitch
this is gonna
guys.
ban me. Okay, it didn't ban me. It should. There you go. If you want to police Alex or play along with him, there are the drinking rules from the YouTube chat, and I feel like Twitch chat will ban me for this. Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
a
they
fourth
fixed
No,
it.
challenger.
on Twitch.
We are joined by
yeah.
Daniel today. He was our finalist from
Everyone.
Houston. He
Wait,
wanted to join in for the holiday festivities and to see Alex get
Yeah, I
hammered.
finally have a day off work, so naturally I gotta tune in. I'm not
All right,
usually
they
on the
said
channel.
I'm-
I'm usually just grinding in the background.
they said
Okay.
I'm low.
You're low?
That's what they said.
Oh, he's the loudest
Do you have me?
screeching
do you have my
banshee in the.
volume Do you have my
Yeah.
volume turned down on Discord? Is that why?
I don't.
I
don't
usually
think.
do just to keep my own sanity, you know.
Oh,
Just like press the
Okay,
mute
Where do I
button.
even check your volume? Is it like your volume
You
Okay.
right click on his name, and then there's a user volume slider
Okay,
there
so
that
Colin,
you can increase.
Oh,
Did you post the doc in the YouTube? How many people do you see posting in this YouTube right now? I want to make sure we don't have two of them.
It says I got 18 in the YouTube and 6 in Twitch.
I got you at
Twitch
like
is saying Alex
120%.
sounds
Everyone says that. Yeah, maybe it's just that one
Twitch-
user. Oh, maybe refresh the stream or something, but I don't know.
Twitch says everything's good.
Okay.
Okay, so
Any chance of tournament
the-
reviews from the Orlando PPG? Maybe we could.
Probably
I mean,
not
we kind of like skimmed over it, to be honest.
Yeah, we
I
didn't-
got top 4. Anton got top 16 at the 10K, and then Alex, Daniel, and I all topped the Friday event.
Yeah, and Daniel as
Oh,
well.
and then
the
yeah, I
Sunday,
also
right?
got the Sunday one
And then Daniel
Where I got-
the Sunday one.
where I got knocked out to MF Aurora in the top 8 on stream. Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we basically ran back our Houston decks with slight differences, and Alex jumped on the Aurora train.
Yeah, Alex
Yes,
jumped on the Aurora train and
I would
immediately
like to
spiked the top
preface.
8. So
I would like to also stress that I was 6-1-1 on Friday, but because of a lot of poor tournament software management, I did not make top cut. I
oh
will
wait,
not
you're
take
talking.
any-
Sorry, you're talking about Sunday, right?
Sunday,
The
or Sunday.
Sunday was
Friday,
the-
no,
yeah.
Friday. On
Friday
Friday, I
did
did
make
make
top
it at
10.
X11, yes. But
Mhm.
Sunday, I was also 6-1-1 with a topping record and did not make it.
Yeah, he ended up
uh,
getting bubbled out at like 9th and 10th because of the way that the software set him up.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here we go. Here's the rules. I'm reading them over one last time to make sure that I understand them all myself.
Yeah.
All right, you guys can
Yes.
remind me if you don't see me take a drink, tell me to take a drink. All right, let's get to it.
I'm sure
then.
there'll be a lot of that. Yeah, I'm still tweaking my set list. Honestly, for the next 2, I've got 2 more set 1 events that I'm going to, and then it'll be on to set 2. So it'll probably be pretty much the same thing as the PPG list that I had. So if you got my link from
I
the
guess-
guide, then that is accurate.
Since I'm not able to look at the YouTube and Twitch, if there are any questions directed to me, just let me know.
Yep, for
Will
sure.
do.
All right, guys, we're starting us off with Emperor's Dais. Oh shit, I did misread already.
There you go,
That
Alex.
was not
There's your first
intentional. That
drink.
was not intentional.
Oh no.
Emperor's
Amen,
Dais.
brother.
When you conquer here, you may pay 1 and return a unit you control here to its owner's hand. If you do, play a 2-might Sand Soldier unit token here.
Yeah, I don't really know what this battlefield is supposed to be for, to be quite frank. We don't really have like a mass number of ETBs that are supposed to be like crazy strong that you want to recycle. Like if it played it in base, it'd be a little bit better because then you could essentially conquer and then like go back to base, right? And then like at least it's not stuck there. But then the token you're playing is getting stuck there anyways, right? So like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. I think it's
I don't know.
the one thing it offers is that there was no way previously to like continuously recur a unit back to hand very well outside of purple. So I think having this as kind of like an evergreen thing could enable some sort of like combo deck where the soldier itself is actually irrelevant. It's just really all about the unit you're recurring over and over again. But I do agree.
Yeah.
This does seem a little weird to me.
I could see like if you had a bunch of cheap guys like lecturing Yordle that are all like just enter the battlefield, kind of small guys. I could see a world where this sees some play. You just swing it in, get your ETB back, replay it. But I mean, putting the guy in the point just basically means that you're wasting the 2. It's always going to get run over. I don't think you're bouncing back stuff like Mind Splitter with this because I'm not trying to replay it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's quite it. So
you're talking about like something that isn't really in the set yet. We'll see maybe in the future.
I don't think this card's ever really going to see a new play. Even I guess with like the Sand Soldier synergy in theory, if there was something in Azir that you wanted to bounce back, then you could like make a soldier there, and it could at least be like a 4 or 5 with a Weapon Master. But I don't see it. I think this card sucks. I'm gonna give it 3. I'm going crazy low on this one.
Yeah, 3's probably about where I'm at. I can buy 3.
Daniel,
yeah, I think I'm going at 2. This thing does not seem very good. It can't be
even lower.
It can't be unplayable, but it's certainly not. I don't see the vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need like a bunch of early ETBs that would be really good for maybe this to see some level of value. I don't even think in Azir, like a lot of the times with the Azir deck, most of your bodies are tokens, so you don't want to return tokens to your end because they just explode.
Exactly.
So
they
like
just die.
Yeah, you would need to be playing real 2-drops to like actually get some level of value out of this, and that's not what I feel like you want to be doing with Azir typically. So yeah, I'll go give it a 3 like the rest.
I will say that set probably is the best version for this with like Pookies and First Mates, and I'd rather just play like battlefields.
Reusing your Pookie, okay, sure.
I do love my Pookie.
Daniel spared me the drink. We got 3 3s and a 2, so
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to make sure you don't die on stream. You know.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, next up we've got Forge of the Fluft. When you control this battlefield, friendly legends have exhaust attach an equipment you control to a unit you control.
This one I actually really like as opposed to the previous one. I think it's got some niche applications, but I was playing it as my neutral battlefield out of the Lucian deck that I was cooking with, if anyone's seen that. And it's actually really nice just being able to like conquer this battlefield, then equip something to it for what is essentially free and not having to spend a power. It like almost feels like a on conquer ramp sort of stuff. It's only like a little bit annoying when you have the equipment like bone shiver, right? That taps it. But yeah, I actually kind of like this card in a couple of niche scenarios. I think it's only really for the Lucian deck out of the ones that I've tested so far that are actually equipment heavy enough to want this card. But in that deck specifically, I really like this as my neutral battlefield. So I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. I think it's pretty strong for that deck. And a couple of equipment
says
decks
something nice, take a drink.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, it's got application. I think the main issue is there are a lot of legends that just have a better tap ability on their leader. So you're sacrificing what you wanted to do for a slightly different version. So you're really only playing it in a weapon deck that doesn't have a leader tap ability. So it's like a very thin area. I think it's fine. I'd go with a 5. I think it's like playable in a very specific niche. It's good in a specific niche, but most decks just can't play it or don't want to play it.
True.
Alex, what do you think?
I'm not as high on this card as Colin. I think it's fine, but like it only works in very specific decks. Like Daniel said, you have to sacrifice the tap from your leader. I don't like 7. I think is like really high, given that this is very limited to very specific decks. And I think even in those decks, I don't think this is crazy. The only like thing I do like about this, I like battlefields that are very that are less generic. So like when your deck can abuse them, like the Monasterian set, for example, your opponent's deck can't actually use them. So that's something that does rate this a little higher to me. But I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. I think it's a fine battlefield in the decks it works in. I like that it's non-generic, so the opponent probably can't use it themselves. But I think it's just like use cases are very limited.
Yeah, Burger King in our chat did bring up that with Set Legend, couldn't you stack it so that you tap the Legend to equip, then use Set Legend on Conquer to ready? Yes, you can do that with the Legends that untap themselves. So there is a few more niche applications, but it's just going to be in a few different leaders. There's definitely some Legends that won't be able to take advantage of this. I mean, there's a lot of Legends that probably aren't even going to be playing equipments or playing very low equipments to the point where like this would mostly be blank most of the game for them. I agree with Daniel. I think it's like a 5 for me. Did Colin give a rating on this? He said 7.
He gave it a 7.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then Alex, yours
Dodged
was
again.
Yeah,
5. We said 3 5s and a 7.
Okay. Next up, we've got Forgotten Monument. Players can't score here until their 3rd turn.
Yeah, this card's actually pretty good as I'm talking in the dreaming tree right now.
We actually just before
boom.
this stream we were playing some games with the Forgotten Monument, and it's relevant. It is definitely something.
Yeah, it's kind of like another Aspirant's Climb for people who've used that, specifically only really into Kaisa and Annie, though, because those are the only decks that really try to score on turn 2, right? But
yeah,
it stops Kaisa from accelerating on turn 2, which is something that we're kind of used to seeing out of these Kaisa decks in order to stay on even increments against anything that's like control based, right? They'll go like turn 1 guy, turn 2 Kaisa accelerate, score to 2, and now if you don't actually enter the board, they're going to hold the 4 and start snowballing from there. But Forgotten Monument obviously stops that, and beyond that, Annie is obviously a deck with sneaky deckhand in the same play of Kaisa accelerates that are going to try and do that to you. So being able to stop all that nonsense is quite good for any sort of control-based strategy. So honestly, maybe my Forge of the Fluft was a little high. I'll give you guys that one. Maybe that was more of a 6, because this one is, I'd put this at like a 7. It's just another Aspirant's Climb and against very specific decks, so I like it.
Yeah, I think when I think of like a 7 battlefield, I think of something like Vilemaw's Lair. And Vilemaw's Lair is like an absolute house against Annie, but it doesn't do a lot in a lot of other matchups. I feel like this is also like a very similar 7 power. It's like good in very specific matchups and doesn't do anything in others. So I think 7 is right on the money.
I'm going to say that one thing that I will note is that when your opponent, when you go first, this is kind of a little more effective if you have actual creatures in your deck, because you can go to the other side, which then if your opponent plays a turn 1 play, if you're both just 2 might, 2 drops, this will force them to either now trade with your guy, which is fine. That's what you want if you're like a slow, grindier deck, or just not score on the other side. But when you're going second, you kind of get the opposite effect, right? Where they actually just, if they don't have a haste guy, they just go to the other side, score, then they play their second guy, they wait till their 3rd turn, and then they score with that guy on that side anyway. So like this is only really effective when you go first or you're playing against haste units, right? So that's like my only that's the only like gripe I have with this. I think 7's a little high. I'm gonna give this one, I think, because it like it only works against very specific decks, I think. And I think to really abuse this, your deck has to actually play a 2-drop to make this better. But I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I still think it's very good. I still think the slower decks are all probably going to play this since their third battlefield was kind of chaff anyways. So I'm going to give it a 6. I think it's a good battlefield.
Yeah, it's a 6 for me as well, and that's coming from like your resident Dirtle enjoyer for sure. I just think that there's the Annie matchup. I agree that this card's pretty solid, and there is like the scenarios where like they can't accelerate Kai'Sa, but if I'm not playing aspirants, like I guess that is when Kai'Sa accelerated is the most annoying, is when I'm not playing aspirants.
Guess Colin said something nice about this card.
But yeah. I just think in application against like a lot of other decks, it's just gonna kind of be a blank a lot of the time. But it is a cool card for
I just
control.
realized we've mentioned Kai'Sa quite a lot during this. I don't know if you took drinks for that.
No, I didn't.
Oh, we did mention. Yeah.
You can take a couple.
But we did mention a couple.
Chat is supposed to be patrolling.
That's one of the 2 rules I remember.
But yeah, it's a 6 for me, so we did not agree. Moving
That's
on.
cool.
Next up, we've got Hall of Legends. When you conquer here, you can pay 1 energy to ready your legend.
This card is a little niche, but in the decks that it's good, I guess. I just don't think the decks that it's good in are particularly good. So I think particularly it's really only Azir and Rek'Sai that I like this card in. Maybe Victor, I guess, but it's pretty rare that you want to be spending 2 energy to make like a 1/1, right? I don't think it really warrants the slot. So, but I do think it is like your neutral battlefield in both Azir and Rek'Sai. So I just don't think those decks are particularly good right now. So I'll give it a 6. Why not?
I'm a big fan. I like this. I'm on the more positive side with a similar rating to Colin, where I think this will just get better as we get more powerful tap legend effects. I think it's very good in Azir. I think it's decent in Victor. It's decent in Rek'Sai. It has some like niche applications. It's probably all right in Fiora. I think this is just a card that's going to improve and potentially see more play in the future. Just being able to ready your legend. I like it. I think it's a good card. I'm going to give it a 6 as well, just on a more positive note than Colin.
A 6 plus.
It's 6+ as opposed to 6.
I'm a 6 minus. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's right around a 6 for me. I do like. I'm not as big on it in Victor. Maybe after seeing it played a little bit last night with Victor, it didn't really seem like it was doing a whole lot. I feel like we could get better value out of our battlefields in that deck. Certainly with Azir, it's reasonable. You're essentially paying 2 mana for a soldier, which is like what you really want to be doing in that deck. There are a few other leaders that it's like okay with. I would never play it in Kai'Sa, but the funny thing is when your opponent plays it versus you can occasionally, like if you just got a little bit of extra mana in your turn, you can just, I'm going to use my Kai'Sa ability during my turn, then conquer, then pay 1 to get another Kai'Sa ability to hold up like a Hextech Ray or something on opponent's turn. So I think that is probably one of the problems with it at the moment, where Kai'Sa will be able to use it. Like Kai'Sa doesn't want to play it, but can use it when you put it out for them. I think that probably lowers my rating of the card. It could be, certainly if there are other leaders that get to value out of the untap, it could get better in the future.
I did see someone mention that with like Ezreal leader, it's pretty cool because if you've already triggered the Ezreal ability, then you can just like, pay 1 to draw. Yeah, but Ezreal has not been performing well for us, so that doesn't really change my evaluation. I think it is a very strong battlefield and will be, as you mentioned, going into the future. Just as of right now, none of the decks that would want to play this card are particularly strong from our testing.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like I'm more in the 7- camp. I'm pretty positive about this battlefield. I do think that some of the decks that it shines in are not very good right now. But I just think that it's like such a strong effect, and I like the fact that it's niche too, because I don't want my opponent to be getting value out of this. I love the battlefields where I'm the deck that needs it and your deck doesn't, and so I'm the one that's going to be able to use it, and it's a blank for you. So I'm pretty happy to put those in my decks. Someone mentioned Yasuo too. Yeah, Yasuo with a lot. If they got a lot of energy, sounds kind of crazy on this one. They could just untap, move their guy up, untap their Yasuo, move it back, move it somewhere else. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's something I hadn't thought about. Yasuo getting to essentially run double Ride the Wind each turn is pretty kind of insane for that deck.
That costs 3 energy though, right? Like
It does.
For 5 energy,
But no
right?
power.
It's
no power though.
2
Irelia's doing the
energy to
same
activate
thing.
Yasuo first.
Yeah, Irelia's having to do the same thing with cards from her hand and power.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe there's some potential there.
All right, next up, we've got Marai Spire. While you control this battlefield, friendly repeat cost 1 energy less.
This card sucks. I'm sorry. I don't know what they're thinking with this one.
It's not great.
Even in the decks that do play repeat cards, like you have to control this battlefield, and then we're getting to save in energy, I guess. There is like the gear that gives anything repeat, and even in a deck like that, I don't think I would ever want this battlefield. There's just so many better things you can be doing with your battlefields. So I don't know if this is the worst one in this set, but I'm gonna give it a 2. I think this card's just terrible, and yeah, maybe if in the future there's some crazy repeat leader, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'm feeling it too. Just like it is still mana reduction, so I'm not just gonna flat out like tank it. I think like there is like something going on here. This is not nothing, but yeah, I think a 2 is pretty fair.
Yeah, I think 2 is right on the money. I mean, the one battlefields are the battlefields that are just completely unplayable. This like has a world where it could be good if you just happen to be running a 9+ repeat spells. Maybe you can get some value out of it, but it's not doing it for me. It's not really where I want to be.
Yeah, anything that makes free resources has got to be better than a 1, no doubt. It's between like a 2 or a 3 for me. I think if we'd seen a lot of good repeats, defensive repeats for the most part, because you have to control the battlefield. Like we do have the Ezreal one, or the blue one that -2 and then -2, and we've got like Thwonk, and that's about it.
Okay, Thwonk is something.
Yeah, like 3 mana Thwonk is like okay for a double stun, but yeah, outside of those two,
So
we
like
really don't have much. So
in my blue-green deck, where I want to be running the minus repeat spell and the plus repeat spell and Thwonk, and I want to 3 of all of them. That's where this battlefield's strong.
I guess Ari maybe is playing all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah.
What's your final rating?
It is a 2 for me, so this is a unison. Yeah. Drink. All right, next up, Minefield. When you conquer here, put the top 2 cards of your main deck to your trash.
Yeah, right where this card goes too. You might as well put this battlefield in there as well. I don't know what
this has more use case than that last one, right?
I think this is better. I actually think this is better than the last one.
Yeah, I'm on board with this being better.
I don't know that I agree.
Anytime they make like a dredge type card, like a Rasa the Sunderer, this card is like instantly in contention for use case in your deck. Whereas like the repeat one, just like the payoffs on these dredge type cards are always so much higher than whatever the fucking repeats are gonna be. Like,
yeah,
sure, yeah.
I think it's purple stuff
potential
only.
is here.
Purple stuff.
This is also
we're gonna like.
This is also good battlefield against decks that like turbo through their deck. So like if like the purple draw infinite was ever good, you could actually like this could be a reasonable like a Vile Mausoleum for them where they like go to conquer this and just deck themselves.
I would be very shocked. I mean, you're gonna conquer like 2 times over the course of a game, maybe 3 at most.
Yeah.
So you're milling like 4 to 6 over the course
That's
of
a
the
lot.
game. Like it's just
That's a lot. You're a 39 card deck. Like that's a lot of.
But
a lot of
also,
cards
a lot
for
of those like turbo through your decks, a lot of the turbo decks are trying to run into Mundo, right? And so you're actually fueling the
Yeah.
Mundo versus them.
That's also
Yeah,
true.
I
But
guess
that's an
it's
argument for why
more-
they might want it.
Sure, I'll give it a slightly better than the previous spell. A little bit more potential feature use case. So I'll give it a 3. Final
3 for
answer.
me. Well.
It's Christmas, so you gotta give it the magical Christmas land rating.
Oh, so we got to give it a 10
So
because
what-
it's a mill card?
I mean, that's still really high.
You said magical Christmas land. I'm just
True.
following orders.
Infinite best
No, I
case
think I think
scenario.
like I think 4 or 3 in this format. I'd say 3. Maybe there's some potential in the future. Give it a 4. So I guess I'll
3.
say 3 just so I can continue to make Alex
3.
drink.
3 for me.
Yeah, it's a 4 for me. I'm a fan. I think that it's really good in the purple stuff. It's not a crazy battlefield, but I do think that with everything we're seeing in purple, we got more graveyard stuff in this set for purple. Like we already got a lot of that in set 1, and we got a lot of it in set 2. So I'm a fan. Next up, we've got Ornn's
Alex.
Forge. What's up?
I just said Alex is saved from drinking by Anton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Ornn's Forge. While you control this battlefield, the first friendly non-token gear played each turn costs 1 energy less.
Originally, I thought this card would be pretty good, but honestly, it's been kind of underperforming in testing. Just because it's like, I don't know exactly where to play it. Even in Ornn, it feels like that deck is more of like a late game inevitability where you build up your huge Ornn, so you want to be playing like Forgotten Monument plus Aspirant's Climb, and then maybe you could play this as your third battlefield if you want, but you aren't really controlling battlefields early for very long. It's one best application, I guess, is with Cloth Armor, because you can like reduce something on your turn by 1 and then go to their turn and then play like a Cloth Armor for free, which is pretty nice. But there are other decks that are going to be able to use this battlefield too, like into Draven or whatever. Now they've got 1 energy long swords and Draven's axes, which is like pretty crazy. So
One energy axe sounds like a nightmare.
yeah, so I don't really particularly like this card, especially because Draven will just like hold this and then now you're having to deal with that, right? Like, yeah, I have not been impressed with this card as strong as it initially looked. I think it's just like its effect is fine for you as the Ornn deck or whatever, but your opponent, this is one of those battlefields that you get like a slight boost and your opponent also gets a slight boost. It's much better for you to play something that is more specifically only used by your deck. But I don't think it's like a terribly unplayable card. I wouldn't ever scoff if somebody showed up to an event with this card in their list. So I'll put it at like a 5.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion as you, Colin. Initially, this looks a lot better than it is. You do get some extra value with some of the reaction-based gears, which is cool, because you can play 1 on your turn and then 1 on theirs. So in these weapon-heavy decks, you're probably playing this. I think a 5 is pretty fair for this. I'm in agreement there. I think there is some use case here, and it's another one of those battlefields that a lot of decks aren't going to be able to utilize. So yeah, I'm on board. I'll take the. I think I'm fine with the 5.
Yeah, I think I'm on a more pessimistic view. I think I'm on 4. I just think if I'm going to run a weapon battlefield, I gotta choose between this and Forge of the Fluft, and I think Forge is usually going to be the one I pick first. But you've got to convince me that I need a second weapon-based battlefield. I've got to be in a weapon deck, and even then, is it really like, certainly it's not letting me play Trinity Force any earlier. It's not letting me play like a BF Sword any earlier. Still have to pay power costs for equips. So like, I'm not sure really how much value it's getting me over the course of the game. Yeah, 4 for me. I think it's underwhelming, and I'd be surprised if like it's the best field for any of the decks that we end up playing.
I think it's a 5 for me. It's just a decent neutral. you know, Kaisa really can't use this. Like, there's a lot. Sorry to mention the K word for Alex, but yeah, I mean, like, that's just another deck that really can't take advantage of this. There's other ones that are not going to be able to take advantage of this. So again, it's just like one of those battlefields that not everybody can use. I'm probably the only one that play tested. I think Jax, and this was nice in Jax. I was often it was really nice because Jax only needs an energy or to equip his stuff. So like oftentimes, obviously this is going first, but I was able to like play a 2-drop, then take that side, and then play my Triforce for 3, and now I could just equip it for an energy. Like there's little curves and things where it mattered, but I can definitely understand like against Draven, yeah, you're not happy that if you give them control of this and have to play around one mana axes for sure. Next up, we've got Power Nexus. When you hold here, you may pay 4 power to score 1 point.
Yeah, this card is a card of all time, I guess. Honestly, I expected this card to be really strong, and honestly, maybe it is. We just haven't really seen any use out of it, just because holding is something that doesn't really happen later in the game, right? And the only time that you want to use this is if you hold on 6 on this battlefield and then use it to score the last point. But most of the hold decks that would want to play this in theory can't really afford to play this card because, you know, if the opponent just decides to take it from you before you can actually set up your hold, then they're going to be scoring extra points, and that'll be really bad for you before you can actually set up your lock, because that's what most of the hold decks end up having to be, right? So maybe out of Yi, I could see this as being like the only place that it potentially could see some play as like a mid-range Yi with Dead Blooms and such could maybe make an argument for this card, as it would certainly help into some of its worst matchups, being like Aurora and the like. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really see much of a use case for this card. So I guess with Time Warp, I guess is the other one that you can potentially use this with to cheese some wins. So currently the lists have not played this, but I wouldn't be surprised for this to pop up at some point. So I'll give it like a 5. Potentially playable, just not right now.
Yeah, for me, this is like a card that's going to synergize super well with Time Warp. That's what I see when I see this card, is just, do I want this in my Time Warp deck? Whether that's Kaisa or Victor or Renata or whatever. I do see this as like kind of just like a probably only use case is like going to be in some sort of take an extra turn deck, or like maybe something that scores another extra point with holding. Like if there's like a unit that had the ability when this holds score an extra point, so you could go from like 5 to 8 or whatever. But I think 5 is pretty appropriate for this right now. I think this is a very strong effect. It just hasn't seen a use case yet.
Yeah, I think 5 is right on the money. I think there's a lot of potential in this card, and maybe I would evaluate it differently if, like, in future sets. But right now, it seems like it's very niche, and the only thing it's going to be doing is rewarding you for playing Time Warp. Like, Renata can probably abuse it, and maybe any other any other Time Warp deck could like get away with maybe getting the extra point off of it. But as soon as you flip up this battlefield, your opponent knows what you're trying to do, and they're just going to like actively avoid it if they can.
Yeah, I kind of like
play it, respect it.
Someone in chat had mentioned potentially an Ornn. Like, I do think that it's kind of interesting to think of like stacking your big Ornn on that side, and then like if you have a bunch of seals in play, your seals are just paying for this extra point every turn. That could be like some interesting application, but outside of that, yeah, I mean, this is mostly just a Time Warp synergy card. It'll probably be good at some point, just because scoring extra points is really good, and it's not like decks that can take this early against you can like afford to just pay for power most times. Like they can't just neg their tempo that hard to score 1 extra point or in the early game. So ideally, you're pulling this off in the later game once you've been able to develop your board and your strategy, and then take the point and hold it with like whatever interaction or just big numbers that you have. But yeah, I think scoring extra points is really strong. I'll probably give it it's a 6 for me. I'll save Alex a drink. It's a 6.
Nice.
Oh joy.
Next up, Ravenbloom Conservatory. When you defend here, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a spell, put it in your hand. Otherwise, recycle it.
This card is obnoxious. If y'all have seen the Victor meme deck that's rolling around right now, this card is kind of the cornerstone as to why one of its games is really, really difficult. At the very least, its game one is tough because they just stick a 1/1 on here, and then every time you send something in here, they'll face breaker you, they'll hidden blade you, and each time they're doing this, they're drawing a card. So it's pretty strong in that specific deck. Outside of that, she who shall not be named could potentially play this as well, just because that deck has obviously a mass amount of spells. And yeah, it's with like the introduction of gears as well as units, there are a lot of decks that will not be able to utilize this as well as those two decks. So I think it will be really strong in some of our most meta-defining decks. So I'll probably give it an 8, to be quite honest with you. I think it's better than all the other battlefields we've shown.
Alex said something nice.
No, shout out to Lux. He said
I don't know
only
if
2 decks.
I
What
don't know if
about
I
the
call
Lux?
that nice.
You gave it an 8
yeah,
out of 10.
sure,
What
Lux.
the fuck? The fuck am I
That's
supposed to say
nice.
about that? Like, that's not.
I give it an 8 out of 10
that seems pretty
because
nice
I
to
don't
me.
like it. But yeah, sure.
What do you think, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp. I think 8 out of 10. I think there are going to be decks that just like this is going to be like Dreaming Tree for them, like just straight like pure crack. And I think unlike Dreaming Tree, it's going to be a lot harder for some of the other decks to abuse this. It's going to just be like, I mean, they'll have spells, but it's just going to be like a total RNG fest as opposed to the consistency that Dreaming Tree has to offer. So I'm in agreement. I think 8 is pretty appropriate for this. I think this is one of the best battlefields in the news set, honestly.
I definitely agree. I think 8 is right on the money. I also think it's one of the best battlefields out of this most recent set. I don't think this card or this battlefield sees as much play as some of the other very strong battlefields, but in the decks where it's good, it's just phenomenal. So like in the Irelia deck, for example, you've got maybe 30 spells in that deck. And so this basically says every time your opponent swings in, 75% chance to draw a card. And in the Victor deck, it's like 90 something percent. The decks that want to be spell tribal, I think this battlefield is just it's the one that they put in immediately. It's the best one for them. A Dreaming Tree is a good comparison, although I think Dreaming Tree is a little bit better just because it's easier to utilize. But in the decks where this battlefield is good, it is really good. It is phenomenal. 8 right on the money.
Yeah, I'm a fan of battlefields that let you play spell-heavy decks, and this just seems like an insane payoff. Like, unlike Dreaming Tree, you don't have to spend any energy. That's like a major thing. It's just this thing's just a free draw. Obviously crazy in the Victor deck, as we mentioned, but yeah, I think it's like between a 7 or an 8 for me. I will just give it an 8. I'll give it an 8 as well.
I think this is the best battlefield in this set. There's only one other card I think that is a contention. So
next up, we've got Rockfall Path. Units can't be played here.
This is obviously, as we saw with our earlier set, there was the dragon that was the 4 for 5, right?
Just let me finish the drink. Just give it the 1. Let's get this over with.
So,
a 1?
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite a 1. This is not quite a 1 for me.
I don't think it's quite a 1 for me either.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple of lists.
I'll get my fucking rant and my finish the drink out all in one here. This card is fucking dog piss. Why the fuck would you play this? Like, holy fuck, this card.
Yeah.
So
it's only
this
real
battlefield.
application.
Yeah. Go
like
ahead.
to stop
Yeah,
sneaky
maybe it
D?
is.
Like what the fuck do you play this
Yeah.
for? Like
Stops Dead Bloom.
units can't be played here. Like who gives a fuck? Like I guess against Aurora
Yeah.
they can't stack up. Maybe okay. Like that's the one. Like the problem is too many of these battlefields have sideboard lines of text, but you
Yeah,
can't side
exactly.
them. Like you're just burning.
If you could
like
side this battlefield, I would rate it like
yes,
6.
you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be like a 5 against Aurora. Like if Aurora was a real deck, you side this against Aurora. Oh, this is everything Aurora does not want to see. Like they can't stack aside. Like that makes sense to me. But like this card, I don't know what lists play this. I don't know what the niche application is. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but before I finish my drink, I'm gonna say this is a 1.
Yeah, it's definitely not a 1. There are too many niche applications for it to be fully unplayable. Like you mentioned, Dead Bloom, Sneaky. The issue with like Sneaky is that unless they're whatever the situation is, they're never going to have to play this. If it said like units can't be played at battlefields, then it would have that application, right? But they'll just
yes,
like,
the fake cards are
one
much
with their
better than the real
2-drop.
cards. I agree.
This is
Exactly.
an anti-Aurora
And it's
card.
just
This is the way I look at this card. That's like
Is it
you
an
can't
anti-Aurora
dead bloom,
card? Is that
I
what
mean,
they?
it's-
you
Is
can't
that
dead
what we
bloom,
think?
You can't stack.
It's good against
mean,
stacking in
you'll-
general,
no,
right?
it's-
Like there's other decks that stack too, like Set can't just like Kingpin
Yeah.
up in the.
Well,
He can't just like take it with the 2-drop and drop the Kingpin, and he can't do that.
yeah, but I
Alright,
could do that on the other battlefield.
Right,
Yeah,
but
you
they
just do it
don't-
on the other
Yes,
side,
Yes,
right?
if they have if they have conquered that side and you're going second, like, and you're trying to take the other side and drop a Kingpin, you can't do that.
I think its actual biggest application, which none of y'all have mentioned yet, is hidden units, right?
Yes.
Because you have to play a hidden unit.
Oh,
on
is
the battlefield,
that how
so
that works?
preventing-
Okay.
No Teemo,
Yeah.
no Pack
So
a
that's
Cub.
that's
Okay.
no
I w-
Pocket Cub, no
maybe
no Tide Turner.
maybe I've got to give it a 2 because it might just be like a hard counter versus these hidden decks. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only application that I'll really give it is that, if your opponent's hiding a card here, then for sure it's a spell out of the Teemo decks, like either a Fight or Flight or Switcheroo or something like that. So I'll give it a 2. Not quite a 1 for me. But yeah, that's my take on this card. Still not good.
Yeah, it's a 2
Don't
for
play
me
it.
as well. Next up, we've got Seat of Power. When you conquer here, draw 1 for each other battlefield you or allies control.
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be like or at least on the competitive side, it's supposed to be a more aggressive battlefield. And there are plenty of times out of Annie or whatever where you conquer your opponent's battlefield and then you like sneaky into this one and then you would like draw a card, it's not nothing, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think in multiplayer as well, if you're trying to go for an aggressive strategy, this could be crazy volatile where you get to a point where you're drawing 2 now if like you're controlling all the battlefields on conquer.
Yeah,
You play the
I do think this
Sphere,
is.
now you hold, you draw 3, like, or no, it's still, yeah, it's still only draw 2, but still you're on hold drawing 2, like you could pop off with this in multiplayer. But
I do think
I've
this card was designed for multiplayer, very much so.
yeah, but there are niche applications, like I said, where there are situations, maybe once or twice over the course of the game, where you'll be able to draw a card off this. So I'll give it a 2 as well. I don't think it'll really see that much play, but who knows? Maybe Annie is just itching for like a way to draw 2 cards going second, or draw 1 card over the course of the game going second, or something like that. And
Yeah,
they
I
don't
think
wanna
2
give their
is.
opponent streaming tree anymore.
I think 2 is fine. It has multiplayer applications. It's not as bad as the last one, in my opinion. So,
I think in my evaluation, it's probably about the same as the last one, where like I would need a very specific scenario to justify running it. So 2 seems right.
Yeah, it's like a 2 or a 3 for me. Drawing a card is always solid, but taking both sides doesn't happen super often unless you're going to lose a lot of your board. So I'll give it a 2. Next up, Sunken Temple. When you conquer here with 1 or more mighty units, you may pay 1 energy to draw 1.
This card is okay.
This is a good one.
It's yeah, it's fine. I think there are a lot of decks that can it kind of goes towards the what you're looking at of a battlefield, which is something that's powerful for you and not for your opponents. So this is a card I'm considering in set, obviously, given that I'm trying to make all my guys mighty anyways, and just being able to get an extra draw or two over the course of the game is pretty nice. While, decks like Annie and Kaisa, like, sure, if they conquer it with their Darius, then they'll draw their one. But I'd say that they won't really be getting that much value out of this card, right? So um, I do like this card. I think it'll see some play from those sorts of decks. So I'll give it like a 6. I think it's solid.
Yep, I'm in agreement. 6. A lot of decks do like to see this, especially the set color deck, set Fiora. Hell, I mean, even the Aurora decks probably like to see this. I mean, it is just draw a card. Like, they're probably okay with that. Like, there's a lot of decks I think this has application, and this is going to function similar to a Dreaming Tree for them, where they're going to probably draw 2 or 3 cards over the course of the game off of this, maybe more, depending on how many times, like, especially the bigger decks that solo conquer a lot, where, like, Aurora, where they, like, conquer, maybe they get, like, a guy gets killed, they conquer again. Like, I'm just a big fan of this. I think it's a 6 out of 10 for me as well.
A little bit higher on this one than you guys are. I feel like there are a lot of decks that are not good right now that this is their best battlefield. I think that if we were to see the metagame shift in a way where we weren't trying to play like very small creatures and just get in for cheap points, I think this battlefield would become very strong. The one downside being that was the way that the metagame was set up, then your opponent's also going to get value out of it. But I think this is a 7. I think it's niche, but it's very strong in the decks where it's an option for you to play. So like your decks like Set, your decks like Fiora, even like Volibear could randomly run this. Just if you were just dropping a bunch of mighty guys like in the mid game, it's just going to draw you cards. Volibear already struggles having extra card draw, so I could definitely see this seeing a lot of play in like the archetypes that aren't currently the best we're thinking about. I think 7's right.
Yeah, Sunken Temple for me is a 7. I think the fact that not everybody can take advantage of this is always a plus for me. I want to be the only one drawing cards off of my battlefield, and like we already mentioned, like a lot of the tempo decks in the game, like your 2-drops, your 4-cost units, most of these are not hitting 5 might, so a lot of the times you're not even able to say as a Kaisa deck, you're not able to like draw cards off of this until you start like playing Darius there maybe, or now with the new 6-cost mech, but like that's not happening till like your turn 4 or something. Granted, it's not that easy for the decks that do well with this to play their units really early either and make them mighty, unless like they're a equipment deck, maybe like a Lucian or a Fiora, things like that. But I do think that this is just really good support for big guy decks, and I like this card a lot. I think it's a 7. Next up, we've got the Papertree. When you hold here, each player channels 1 rune exhausted.
It's like they already made this
card is...
but there's 2 now. It works for both people. Like, I guess it's a detriment to hold here. Like, I don't know what deck this, like, this isn't even bad. I just don't know where the hell you would use this. Like, what deck is like
Aurora?
I want them to get rewarded but also punished for holding. It just
Aurora.
It feels weird.
This is definitely a weird one. I get, but it's probably an Aurora deck or Aurora card. I think
it's great for Aurora. It's a second obelisk. It's literally a second obelisk.
That's true. Yeah, they actually can't. If you just leave them there, you have to channel that rune.
And then we have a second obelisk.
Yes. Yeah, well, I think it's maybe better than the first obelisk for Aurora specifically, right? Because your opponent is using the early energy better than you are, right? Whereas you're using the late energy better than they are. Is the strategy. So they're eventually going to be forced to hold this for you, give you the trigger, and then maybe it'll line up going into your Aurora turn. But if it instead makes it so your opponent doesn't conquer it to stop the hold so that you can't Aurora a turn earlier, then it just ends up being an Aspirant's Climb. The only issue with that being that like your opponent gets the choice as to whether this is an Obelisk or an Aspirant's Climb, so that part's not the best. So I'm a little undecided on if this card is a better or worse Obelisk, and should we be playing Aurora for this set? Obviously, we'll try it and figure out if we like it more. So it's kind of up in the air. This card might be, honestly, it could be a 1, it could be like a 7. So I'll go somewhere in the middle, and we'll say like a 5. We'll have to see how this one goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little lower on this. I see the Aurora applications, but I just don't see a lot of the other applications, especially since your opponent can just go to the other side. Then the following turn they take, then you get the rune exhausted. It's like a little slow for you to actually get the rune here. So I'm gonna give this like a 4. Like, I see the applications, I just think they're like kind of niche and few and far between.
Yeah, the only matchup in Aurora where you're actually getting this before your Aurora turn is versus Annie when they run Sneaky Deckhand.
Right. Sneaky.
So
deep,
like
sure.
versus this card never actually helps you ramp to Aurora versus any other deck, because they're going to conquer the other side, and then they're not going to hold until the turn where you're already supposed to play Aurora. So
Yep.
I think this battlefield is really bad. I think it's only applicable. I think it's a multiplayer battlefield, which they printed a few of. I don't think this really has any. Maybe I could be very wrong, but I don't think this really has any application for competitive. I think it's a 2. I think it's pretty atrocious.
All right, you convinced me. I think you're right. I'm gonna even go worse than that. I might make this a 1 to make Alex drink, but well, it has to be a consensus of a 1, right?
No, I'm giving it a 5.
No, it
you guys are all smoking crack. I'm giving it a 5.
Only one person has to give it a 1 for it to me.
It's somewhere between. It's either a 2 or a 5, and that's just dependent upon if it actually sees plays. You're right. We'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I think in the perfect scenario where we found Catalyst going second, sure, that's great, but there's a lot of times where we don't draw Catalyst and we need a ramp spell, and this is my ramp spell.
Mm-hmm.
Why is
but it doesn't ramp you until after when you're supposed to play Aurora is the problem.
Right.
Unless you're playing against exactly Annie with Sneaky D.
Why is this so small? Wait,
this is like fine.
No, it's like okay, yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why that one was
off a little
that one
bit.
was like oversized for some reason. The image for that one was really big.
Weird.
Okay,
There we go.
next up, we've got Treasure Hoard. When you conquer here, you may pay 1 energy to play a gold gear token exhausted.
This is when I was alluding to the other potential for best battlefield in the set.
This is the
certainly
best
one.
This is the best one.
I mean, this is
one's
definitely the
perfect.
best like universal one that anyone can use, but that's kind of the issue with it, right? Is that anyone can use this battlefield. So like, if you or your opponent's going to get more utilization out of this battlefield is the real question, right? Like this is one that's like giga powerful for both players. Being able to essentially like get a free mobilize for the conquer is obviously strong. So I will rate this pretty highly. I'll give it like a 7.
No,
maybe even 8.
This card's
it's
a
probably
9.
an 8.
This one for me is a 9. I mean, this is just one of the best generic battlefields. Even though your opponent can use it, a lot of times they can use Dreaming Tree too, and a lot of the decks are built around Dreaming Tree, but I still give Dreaming Tree a 9. This is the reason that decks like Annie, decks like Draven, these decks can play all these super greedy, power hungry, or part of the reason these super greedy, power hungry spells like Rebuke, like Switcheroo. You're going to see decks like Annie and Draven maxing a lot of these two power spells a lot more now because of cards like this, because of the Treasure Hunter, because of this battlefield. Just being able to generate all this this energy when you're already going to have so much up, especially in decks like Annie, where you're just untapping 2 anyway, so who cares if you pay the 1 a lot of the time? Like it's just free. So I think this is the best battlefield in the set. I'm going to give this card a 9 out of 10. Even if your opponent can use it, there's some decks that the power's not going to matter for as much. You can even, if you want this to be your go first battlefield, you can. So you just capture this, and then your opponent has to go to the other side, and then it's a lot harder for them to take this. I just think this battlefield's crazy. I'm a big fan. 9 out of 10.
I mean,
I think Alex is right on the money.
I don't know if I can agree with this one, just because it's like that's kind of the reason why I don't like this card, is because any decks aren't even really playing it in the Spiritforged set from what I've seen so far. Granted, we haven't really had any player performing super well out there, but they're still kind of on Arena's Greatest, Dreaming Trees, on Warrens from what I've seen. And so if you're putting this in your deck, then as you mentioned, like Annie's probably going to be able to use this way better than you are. So it's like kind of got the Dreaming Tree issue, right? That
even more than this is way more generic than the Dreaming Tree. Everybody can use this.
Every single deck can use it unless you're like a slow deck that doesn't conquer until like turn 4.
Okay, so some upsides is like Aurora decks, like they can use this, but they use it at the point where it doesn't really matter anymore.
Sure.
Like there's some decks that truly can't like abuse this. Some decks are not super power hungry, so they're not really like. Funny enough, this is probably a hot take, but I actually think even though like Kai'Sa could in theory play this, Kai'Sa already kind of has like a lot of power going for it. I think that Kai'Sa is going to be one of the decks that actually wants this the most. And
yeah, they'll be happy to see you playing it for sure.
Yes.
They will love to use
hard in Kai'Sa because they get to this is like the craziest one is now it becomes so much easier to loop Time Warp. Falling Star is now free. Like I actually think it's possible Kai'Sa might actually end up running this. Like this.
Alex is taking so many drinks for this one.
Yeah,
this is all. I think
you got the Kai'Sa, you got the Falling Star. You're ranting like it's rough.
Whatever. I'll take a big swig here, but I actually think this is like a Kai'Sa battle. This is like the next 9 out of 10 Kai'Sa battlefield. Like Kai'Sa is one battlefield away from like total perfection.
Yeah, I could see this being our going first Kai'Sa battlefield. I could see it being in a lot of decks just as their neutral battlefield or their going first battlefield either. I think this will probably be the most consistently played battlefield from set 2. And I think it's just good in everything. Being able to turn a mana into you basically get to ramp 1 for 1 when you conquer. I think this card will see tons of play, and for that reason, I think it's perfectly reasonable. I think it's just like the best battlefield in the set. If we're gonna rate anything a 9, it has to be this one for Ravenbloom.
I mean, I honestly want to even go lower the more I talk about it, because for the exact reason that you guys are saying, I'm hating on this card. I think this card's like maybe even a 6.
You're
because it's
contrarian
just
alert. Contrarian alert.
No, I'm in the same boat. I agree with Colin. Battlefields for me get the more that my opponent can utilize them, the worse they get for me. They lose points even if they're great for me, even if they're insane for me. The more that my opponent can use them, they lose points. So.
We've already seen the meta cutting this card out of Kai'Sa because like every deck can utilize the Dreaming Tree, right? And even though Kai'Sa is like one of the better utilizers of it, everyone's cutting it from their list because they're like, well, I don't
want to give Annie this. I don't want to give Kai'Sa this. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it like a 6. I don't expect this card to really see that much play because it is so broken for both sides. That's the main reason why. Yeah. But obviously, I think it's the most powerful battlefield that we have.
Sure.
But it's just not going. You don't want to be putting that sort of thing in your deck. Like the Ravenbloom student battlefield, whatever it is like that's going to be one-sided for your Victor deck that has a 100% chance to draw off of it, right? It's going to be much better.
Hey man, they run like
Irelia deck that's
they run
75%.
like 2 gears. It's only 96% or whatever.
Our list runs like 2 gears. The traditional one has literally 39 spells. It's 13 3-0s and they're all removal spells. We put in a couple of spicy things, but that's either here nor there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6.
I'm mirroring Colin. It's a 6 for me. I will actively not be trying to play this in any of my decks this set.
Okay.
Another big oversized one. Okay, got it. Next up, we've got Veiled Temple. When you conquer here, you may ready a friendly gear. If it's an equipment, you may detach it.
This is, again, a card of all time, just on the opposite side, where this seems so unimportant for anyone that I don't really see its use case. I guess its biggest use case is with the Vanguard Armory. You get to make 3 more 1/1s.
Yep.
Or you can like detach an equipment, because that is one of the things that's a little awkward right now with equipment, is that it gets stuck to a unit. So there's no way to move it around as you see fit. So until that unit dies, then you're kind of stuck with it, right? So, but that being said, I think these are all super niche scenarios, none of which will really come up in your game. And with us having 2 sets of battlefields, there's something better to put in your deck, I promise. So we'll say 2 out of 10.
What do you guys think?
What's your take, Alex?
Yeah, 2 out of 10. I mean, I can see like where they make. The thing is, like, again, if you're gonna print like a super broken gear that like does something when it taps, like Vanguard Armory, now you just can't because this exists. Like, what if you just made Aurora but it had to tap, right? Like, well, now you've just given it like a these things just like, this is like bad design. Like, maybe not bad design, but like cards like these are just like either useless or broken, and there's rarely an in between. Like the detach, like they even knew this effect was so bad that they added an extra effect on it. Like this is like one of the few battlefields that actually has 2 lines of text on it, which should go to show like how bad each of these is individually. That being said, it does have 2 lines of text. Like, it could have some application, but as the pool of battlefields grows wider and wider and wider, and because you only get battlefields for 1 game, it's hard to have battlefields that prescribe to a very specific strategy because you only get them for 1 game. So even if this was like crazy juice and like set some deck over the top, in the other 2 games you would not have this effect, and you cannot base your deck around a battlefield in a best of 3 format. So given all this information and rambling, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. It does have 2 lines of text. Maybe it could be juice somewhere, but yeah, like both these lines of text are kind of ass. So
I mean, to some degree, you can do it in a best of 3, right? Because if you say you play the whatever this magical Christmas land gear is that taps and like combos off with this, then you just do that in game 1, and then you just side out the gear in game 2, and so you can do exactly that, right? Like just like we did with Aurora.
But like we only have 8 sideboard slots in this game, right? So like it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you would hope that your deck is built in a way that once you take out this little mini combo of gear plus battlefield, then like you're only removing those 3 to whatever cards, and your deck still functions ideally.
Yeah, I mean, the magical Christmas land is the armory.
Yeah, right now we don't have anything to abuse it.
Yeah.
Right now, no.
I would say right now I'd rate it a 2 with the option to move it up. We print something that's magical Christmas land for this battlefield. I think it's just you gotta show me something that makes this thing good, and right now I really don't think there's anything.
Yeah, someone in chat mentioned, well, this is one of the niche ways to detach an equipment. Yes, it is, but like I don't think that I've never been in a game so far playing the equipment deck or a non-equipment deck where I've just been like, oh man, I really need this detach so bad. I could just win if I could detach. Like, I'm not saying it never comes up, but it's like that's just so rare. I feel like you definitely want like a Vanguard Armory or some kind of thing that taps and untaps. Like someone mentioned a seal. Even that's a better use case. Like, okay, I can get to tap a seal for 2 power this turn. That's like something. But yeah, I think we need more things like that. We have constructed
our own Ornn hero power.
Yeah.
through a battlefield.
And that's it for battlefields. So we are done with the battlefields.
How fast do we do this section?
We've been up for an hour, but I mean, we also
not very fast.
We also talked and we explained the drinking game and yada yada. So,
I mean, do you think it was less than 45 minutes from when we started?
Probably.
No. Maybe.
No.
Maybe just about.
Now that I pulled a shot out, you're like,
might be just about. I mean, if you want to take a shot, take a shot.
But
we started streaming 69 minutes ago. So
yeah.
How many ounces is
That's,
50 milliliters? Because a
It's
shot is
probably
1.5
over then,
ounces.
right?
All right.
Oh,
Here
well,
So,
we
I
go.
gotta. Hold on,
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
pour
stream
all
this
this
for you guys.
vodka. Pour this all in the
I don't even
Sun
know if I have
Cruiser,
vodka anywhere.
and here we go.
Oh man,
Oh god. Let's say I'll do
Poor
a
guy.
shelf with you, but crazy. So how are we doing this section, Enton? Are we rating the leaders based on how good we think the deck will be?
So hammered.
No, we'll save that for the tier list. We're just looking at these more in a vacuum. Obviously, the context of set 1 and set 2 is still there, but not so much in a competitive format. Just like, how do these read? How do we think they might be, decent in the future? Just general rating of this as a card based on our knowledge of the game.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, then I guess if you want to read our mechanized menace here.
Yep. We're going to start off with
this guy.
Mechanized Menace, Rumble. He is a Fury and Mind legend, and it says your mechs have shield +1.
Yeah, this card is certainly something. Honestly, I think you can't really rate any legend a 1 just given the nature of how this game works and the fact that you have a unique legend than playing it in a tournament. If you're the only one showing up with that legend because it is a theoretical one, then congrats, you won your event. You got your medal card. That's all that matters, right? So I think that's this card is like the biggest issue being that its effect is so minuscule that if Mech Tribal is good, you can just play it in a better blue-red leader, of which we currently have one, right? So, especially because there's the spell that makes a 3 might and draws you one. Being able to have power for that is just way better. I'm trying to avoid saying her name. I don't know if that avoids anything or not. Yeah.
Top myself off here. This leader sucks. There's not much to say about it. I don't understand. Like, it's not even like a Kaisa problem. It's just like a.
I think it's kind of a Kaisa problem.
Just like a.
I think the mech support's fine,
problem.
but like, if you want to play mechs, just play mechs and Kaisa.
Right? Holy fuck! All right.
So 3.
Okay, wait, because I do need to talk about Kaisa. Don't drink for the rest of this round. We're going to be talking a lot about Kaisa.
The liquor's calling the shots now.
Oh no. Okay. Well, so the problem is all of the the problem is your hero power is just strictly worse than Master Yi, basically. So you want him to be a hold deck. You're not Master Yi.
You're Ari with extra steps. Like this is just like worse. Yes, like
this is more conditional Ari and worse. Yes. So you've got a worse Master Yi hero power, a worse Ari hero power, and you're in the colors of Kaisa, and you're bad at doing Kaisa things. So you're like you've taken this all these different things and you fuse them together, and what the result is you're just a worse version of every other deck that we've mentioned. Like it doesn't.
Rena, I'm gonna need some of that bread.
If he had like a really broken signature spell, that could maybe save him. But I think maybe with future mech support, he will be better. Until then, I have to rate him A2. He is a metal card leader.
He's still in a good colors. I'm gonna give him like a 4 just because his colors alone. Like there are a lot of good mechs. You do have the piloted shredder that is definitely not Worm Coil Engine.
It's definitely
a hill that I'm going to literally die on.
Yeah, you will.
So I'm gonna give him like a 4 out of 10. He's still got good color combination. Like even if his effect is literally vanilla, like he's kind of like Ari for me in that regard. That very good color combination, just super vanilla leader, super vanilla champion. He's fine. Like I just don't think there's much to say about this leader.
I've got to amend myself. I've got to give it a 3 because I forgot about some of the other terrible leaders in this set. So I have to give it a 3 for future proofing.
Sure.
What do you think, Colin?
Oh, for like a raw number?
Did you give him a rating? Yeah.
I think I said either a 3 or a 4. We'll give him a 4 because some people seem to be playing him. So just in case, that way I can say I was right. And if not, then it's still about as low a rating as I expected him to get. So
Yeah, I think when we get to the threshold where, like, if we ever get to that threshold where you can actually just play nothing but mechs in your deck, and every single card in your deck that's a unit gets +1 while defending, this might actually be okay. But even then, it still just feels like it's playing a very fair mid-range game, and that doesn't really work into a lot of decks like Kaisa. So on top of being in Kaisa's colors, like, you also have to deal with the fact that fair mid-range just isn't really a thing right now. But I think, like, in the world where, you know, my 2-drops naturally defend against every other 2-drop with the +1, like, that's pretty good. Same thing for my, like, 4/4s. They go over your 4/4s. Like, that all sounds good, but then you realize that, yeah, my whole board's getting blown up by a Cathian Rain or Falling Star. So, yeah. I think that's the biggest issue with this card. But it's in a good color pair, and, like, if it does get the mech support that it needs in future sets, more red and blue mechs, then maybe it'll be okay. I'll give it like a 4. Next up, we've got his signature spell, Danger Zone, for 1 energy and a red or blue power. This is reaction. It also has repeat for 1 and a power, and it gives all your mechs +1 might this turn.
Literal dog piss. I don't like. I'm not gonna finish my drink on this one, but this is dog shit. Do not try to say otherwise. For 2 power,
I don't think
2
it's
might. Dog piss.
Yeah. The only application that this kind of has is like mechas, or obviously Rumble is supposed to be like a hold deck, right? And into Watcher, it's very difficult to hold, but at least you can combine, like, if you have this plus your hero power, then essentially you're net neutral against a Watcher, right? So I do like the concept of that. That being said, decks that play Watcher will have like a million ways to get over your board outside of just Watcher. So yeah, I don't know if this is like quite there yet. So in a nutshell, it's just like these sorts of weak overrun effects just don't do anything. You don't need, like, overrun in Magic is powerful because you're dealing extra damage for each unit that you have most of the time. And while that's still technically the case here, there's so many just like better. There's like a 2 mana +4, which that doesn't cost any power. So we need 2 mechs for this to be equal to that. And then also the additional thing is that they can just like kill one of your units as opposed to that one potentially being big enough that it doesn't die in the first place. So
I think this card gets a lot better once we have like a shit ton of mechs. Like, we can literally 39 cards and every creature in our deck is mechs. Like, okay, fine, 2 mana to give the whole board +2. I would love that. That would be great. But that's not the reality right now. For me, this card is a 3 out of 10. There is some potential, but I think right now this card, as far as signature spells goes, is absolute dog piss.
Yeah,
so
if this card justified.
If this card was not a signature spell and just a regular card, I could give it like a 5. It's just very okay. But because it's a signature spell, and signature spells are supposed to be like the most powerful card in your deck, I have to give this a 3. It's not. This card does not live up to the standard.
Yeah, I think, like, reaction speed pumps are at a baseline, they're okay. Like, they do help you dodge the falling stars, right? Like, if you got 2 mech tokens out for 1 mana, my mech tokens don't die to falling star because of the reaction speed. Like, that's really the only thing that this card has going for it, is the reaction speed. +2 might come up every now and then, but it does kind of suck that the repeat can just be defied.
Yes, that is another sort of disappointing part of it.
But yeah, I think like a pump that is reaction speed is like playable. I'm just not super happy about it, especially as a sig spell. So I'll probably give this like, yeah, it's like a 3 or a 4, leaning more towards the 3.
Was that 3s from everybody? Is Alex required to?
I'm starting to feel it now. I haven't really eaten today. It's early in the morning for me. I'm feeling it, but the rules are the rules.
All right, next up we've got Purifier. This is the Lucian legend. It is in Fury and Body. Your equipment each give Assault.
I have so many things to say about this card, none of which are particularly good.
Yeah, this is
why
you played this.
Compare this to. Yeah, I'm our resident Lucian person just because I thought the combo was cool, and so you said in a vacuum as to how this card is. Do I get to count playing like a pretty good chosen champ as a part of this card? Because that's his best text, is that he gets to start
his best text is that you always start with the Lucian. Master.
Yeah, I mean, you can count that in there.
Okay, yeah. Given that, then he's not quite a 1, so that's that
Thank fucking
that
God.
Nice.
Holy shit. Yeah. I don't know if I can handle a 1 right now.
I mean, so, there's gonna be one in the there's gonna be one in the out of the set, so
yeah, I'll give him like a 4, I guess. He probably has one of the most blink texts of any legend out there. Like, the issue is that you're very rarely in a situation where you're struggling to break into a battlefield, and then when you are, you're like, oh wow, I get 1 additional assault per power that I paid in order to equip all this stuff. Oh wow, you shouldn't have Riot devs. Like, that's just so incredible. Thank you so much for my 1 additional power on offense. And
yes, if I spend 3 power to equip 3 weapons, I get to build my own cleave. This is truly magnificent.
Yeah, that's peak design compared to something like Draven that exists. So yeah, that's I'll give it like a 4. It would be a 1 based on just the printed text here, but the chosen champion is actually pretty nice to combine with this. So being able to play that card every single game is pretty nice. So
yeah, I feel like the chosen champion bailing out bad leaders. Many such cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add. I think Colin's right on the money. The leader text is actually almost always blank. Most of the time, the 1 power isn't going to make the difference on whether you're breaking a point. It's just getting to play the chosen champion that saves it. It's probably a 4. Hard to think about this leader in a vacuum because the signature spell is like so much of the deck. So, but in a vacuum, I think this leader is a 4.
Yeah, this is for me. This is just Rumble with bad color combinations. I gave Rumble a 4. This is like a 2 for me. Like, at least Rumble has good color combinations, but I think orange red is one of the worst color combinations in the game right now.
I think you're wrong.
The only thing that saves this color combination is that you can play the Spear and the Triforce together.
Yeah.
And if it were not for that,
I've traumatized him. I've traumatized him enough with that.
If not for that, I would probably be puking in the toilet right now. But I'm going to give this leader a 2 just to spare myself the indignity.
Yeah, I do not think that red and body is the worst color combination. I just think that
you just like just say you like Volibear.
I do like Volibear, but yeah, that
yes, but that's not the same. That's not the same.
What the Lucian deck is doing, those are the same colors. Lucian is just doing a much worse thing than Volibear for sure. He's doing a much worse thing. I would rather have a ramp on my guy all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucian's like it's like a between a 3 or a 4 for me. I don't think that assault on your weapons is very impactful, but like if you're running weapons and you get into these end game scenarios where like sometimes you have to like sack off your whole board and just keep re-equipping your stuff, like the +1
I will say
can come in every now and then.
The text came up once. The text came up once in a game where Colin he had 7 points and stacked up like 20 power, and I just go, okay, well, I've got a bunch of weapons, I have 12 mana, and I have 3 garbage 2-drops in play, and I'm just gonna equip, crash, equip,
Right.
trash,
Yep.
equip. You want to fight.
Yeah, and
but
so
even against
those
most
are
of
the
those
times
decks,
where it
then
might
like
come
they
up.
can just like rebuke you.
Sure.
Yeah,
They
what
can
do
fighter fight you, and then
What are
you're
you
like,
gonna do when they play
you're
a
like,
single
okay,
fighter
great.
flight? Oh, I lose the game.
I mean,
Good
I
night.
don't know if most of the
Yeah.
hold decks are in purple, but sure. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, they don't have to be a hold deck. They just have to be holding a point.
Sure.
Yeah.
What? Did you have something, Alex?
No, I was gonna say, go ahead, read the card. And
Okay.
I'll see what I gotta say.
Next up, we've got Lucian's signature spell, Relentless Pursuit. For 2 energy and a power, this is an action speed spell. It says move a friendly unit. You may attach an equipment with the same controller to it. This turn that unit has when I conquer, you may move me to my base.
This card's broken. This card is
This card's great.
crazy. Like, this is the reason that Lucian got a 2 and not a -5. God damn, this card is broken. I fucking hate
this card is crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Colin
Very
can speak
clearly
more
the
on it,
best
but-
card in the deck. So right on the money with
Yeah.
signature spells.
Yeah, this is like top 5. This is probably like the 5th best signature spell in the set, which is crazy to hear from a leader
right,
that deserves like a 1. But like this,
Yes.
this guy, this card is fucking insane. God, I hate it.
What did you guys rate Ride the Wind? Do you know?
I probably
That was in our
probably
top
in 8 or a
from
9.
That was in our top 10. That was in
Yeah.
our top 10 cards in the set video, I think.
Yeah.
So I could double check, but I think we gave Ride the Wind an 8 or a 9. We only gave 2 cards
Yeah.
a 10, I think, and it was Watcher and Fall. I think it was Watcher Falling Star, and I think
Yeah.
we gave Aurora a 9. I think
Yeah.
Aurora was the
Okay,
3rd
then-
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably put this card up there, at least in a vacuum. Probably like an 8 or a 9, somewhere in that range. This card is crazy. It's going to be the reason why you play this deck. Like I said, you can OTK with this card. This is the first OTK that we've had. You get 3 Triforces, you get a Spear, you conquer one side, you score 4, you play this, you conquer the other side, you score 4, and shake your opponent's hand. Should that ever happen to you, give me a call. Record that game, hopefully, because I'm curious how that ends up. But yeah, it's Ride the Wind, broken card, and it's especially broken when you're doing all this, even without the dream scenario, right? Typically, when you're like, if you're Ride the Winning on your opponent's turn, because you can do that for some reason, and you do that with a Spear and a Triforce out, then instead of scoring 2, now you're scoring 4. Out of literally nowhere.
Yes, you can just go. You can just go to 6 points and then conquer the last 2 on your opponent's turn for a very, very punishing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, buddy, you left a single zone open. No, goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. So this combined with the cards that you're going to be playing with Spear and Triforce, and then it giving you the ability to equip it just in case like one of those is on something else is like crazy. Seeing Alex go crazy in our YouTube chat is
You guys,
does that count as like a?
Yes.
Yeah, of course we can see
We
it.
can
What
see
he's
what
saying?
you're
Let's-
saying.
let's-
Yeah, he's talking about.
Does that count
I
as a
will
drunk
say-
rambling when you?
No, I said when I pop off, and this card is 3 lines of text.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty.
Ride the
Yeah,
Wind with
that's a lot.
extra
Like-
text.
Yes, Ride the Wind with extra text is wild.
People don't understand that like lines of text are relevant, even if they're super relevant. If you have like a card with 3 lines of text, and one of those lines of text is super broken, and the other 2 lines of text are just like corner case like niche things, that's still broken because you just
still
covered 2
broken.
corner cases. But this card has 3 lines of text, and every line of text on this card is good. Like every line of this text, like if this card just like action 2 mana, move a friendly unit, this card's probably 6 out of 10. You can attach you can attach an equipment with the same controller to it. Okay, that's like fine. That's like if this card had that by itself, it'd be like a 3 out of 10, whatever. It's like a hook shot. This turn that unit has when I conquer, you may move me to my base. Okay, also a 3 out of 10. But when you put all of these things together, they're compounding. So like you've made this card go from like a 5 or 6 out of 10 to like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 just by adding all these fillings and like icing on the top type effects. So this card for me is like an 8 out of 10. This is the card that actually carries the Lucian deck, in my opinion. I think this is insane.
Yes, by far best card in the deck.
It is pretty much Ride the Wind in a deck that is not intended to have Ride the Wind, especially since the Lucian himself actually untaps himself. So, like, you move in, you conquer, he untaps himself, you move back to base, and then you go to the other side. Like, this is just Ride the Wind, but it actually has extra text on it on top of that. So, yeah, I think it's going to be an 8, like, probably pushing a 9. The only thing that keeps it from being an 9 for me is we are rating these cards in a vacuum, and this is a Sig spell, and you can only play this in one deck. So that's probably
I guess,
what.
An 8 or a 9 is fine. It's definitely not a perfect card, but
I think 8 is reasonable. There's like a few signature spells that are better than it in their respective archetypes. So
I see this question. I want to answer this real quick. Paz, I'm not going to read your name, but Paz, we will probably have a tier list video at some point, but I see a lot of tier lists out right now, and I think we all agree that a lot of these tier lists it's a little premature to have a tier list. For us, I don't want to have a tier list that's like engagement bait or something that we put out after playing like 10 games with each deck or whatever. I want to have a real refined tier list, and I think everybody can agree with that here. We don't want like a day 2 tier list because we played 50 games or whatever.
Yeah. Like,
so go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was going to say, we just want a real refined tier list. We don't want to mislead you. We don't want to like, oh, this is crazy. We like, Ornn won 10 games tonight, so we're going to put it in S tier. Like, we want something that's refined, and we want to give you real information. So you're not going to see a tier list from us a week or 2 weeks in. Like, it might take us like a few weeks to have a true tier list, but we want our tier list to be real when we put it out. And if we put out a tier list earlier than that, we'll say, look, this is premature. This is very early in our testing. This is what we have right now, but this could very easily change. So we don't want to mislead anyone. We're a competitive channel first and foremost. Our job is not to just mislead you or put out something that we think is not good. Like, when we put something out, we want that product to be quality. I don't think we want that to be like low quality. And I mean, anybody can disagree with me here, but I think that's kind of our mission statement here, is that we don't want to put anything out till we think we're kind of on the money.
Yep.
Yeah, I will just say, there are only, out of set 2, there are really only a few decks that I have like a confident opinion on right now. Like, our evaluation of like Ornn, for example, I think has changed 3 times in the last 3 days. We like thought it was broken, and then we thought it was like sort of mediocre, like it had a bad matchup. We played that bad matchup, tried a few things, and it was good again, and we're like, okay, we're really hyped on it. This morning, it seemed really rough. So like, where Ornn sits on the tier list can fluctuate wildly from day to day. We really need a lot of games and like a lot of experimentation before we can confidently say like where a deck is in terms of playability.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a tier list coming very soon. I would expect within the next week or two, we'll have, if not a definitive tier list, we'll at least have a speculative tier list. And then before regionals start popping off, we will definitely do, just like we did the first time around, we had our speculative tier list, and then we came in with this is what we expect the Houston regional to be, and we were like dead on the money with that one. So yeah, once we get more refined testing, we'll know for sure what we'll have a solid list for you guys.
I want to shout out my boy Zuhair Galaxy for the $5 California donation.
Isn't it Canadian? Yeah,
California. That's Canadian.
California money.
Yeah,
Californians
money.
You see, $5 Californian dollars is actually $20 in everywhere else in the U.S. So
you're a real one, Zuhair Galaxy. Shout out our boy.
Yeah, appreciate.
Thank you, Zuhair. Yes, we appreciate.
My boy Zuhair.
Thank you, Zoo.
Hopefully, I'll see you at some of these events again, because it's been too long.
But yeah, I think, like Anton said, a week or two we'll have something. But like, we've been at it, like we've been cranking like probably like from sun up to sundown every day. I was actually bitching last night. I was like, man, I had a great sleep schedule, going to bed at like midnight, waking up around like 9 o'clock or whatever. We do like some amount of testing, but this last week has been like literal hell. Like get up, stream, test from sun up to sundown. We're going to bed at like 3 a.m. We're trying, guys. Like we're out here on the
Yeah,
grind.
I was on to test this morning at 7 PST. So I basically ran games from then until the stream started.
We're like I went to bed at 3 o'clock last night. I woke up I think about 9:30ish. Like we're just every morning we're trying to grind. We're cramming games. We're trying everything from like Rek'Sai to not Garen. We're not trying Garen. I'll be real with you.
Garen has not been has not made it to the testing.
We're trying everything from like Rek'Sai to Kai'Sa to everything in between. Lucian, Set, like you name a leader, we have probably played a game with it except Garen, not Garen.
Someone asked if we accept V-Bucks.
V-Bucks? What are V-Bucks?
It's like video game money for what is it? Is it?
It's for
it's
Fortnite
money.
Yeah,
Fortnite
Fortnite,
money.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do we accept Fortnite money? I mean, there's got to be a market for that, right? So that was a rant. So I'm gonna have another drink.
We're going to move on.
You also
now.
mentioned Kai'Sa. Sorry, buddy. Do another.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, we rambled enough on Lucian.
Yeah,
speed it up for
yeah. So we all thought that the Sig spell was great. Moving on to Draven.
Yeah.
Our legend, the Glorious Executioner. He is a Fury and Chaos legend. Says when you win a combat, draw 1.
I'll start and I'll just say it straight up. This guy's a 10. It's just crazy.
Motherfucker.
Sorry, Alex. You knew that this was coming. Like this is a 10.
Oh.
And if you disagree with me, then you're just wrong.
I agree. Best leader in the set. This guy is completely insane. The way he interacts with all of your like push and bounce spells is not fair. Should have only said you draw on your turn.
What are they thinking with this card?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a on your turn like.
It should tap itself.
You just,
why doesn't it?
Yeah, or tap itself. Sure.
Yeah, on your turn, tap itself. There's like any little knob they could have turned on this guy. There's any little knob they could have turned on this guy to make him less fucking broken than he is right now. As if like purple red wasn't already like in contention. And the crazy thing is, I don't actually know if he's going to be better than Annie, but he's by far the best leader in this set for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Hands down best leader in the set.
If not pushing best leader in the game, like, he's in contention. Like this line of text is absurd.
He's in contention for best leader in the game.
Yes, it's absurd. And this color combination's already broken. He plays a little bit different from Annie, so honestly I consider him completely different decks. This is like kind of been played more as like a mid-rangey style of deck, whereas Annie is a lot more hit and run, try to score to 6, do your by the wind nonsense. This deck hasn't even really been playing by the wind in most of our lists, but obviously we'll try a more aggressive version of it too. It's just to abuse his legend ability, you really need to win combats on your opponent's turn too, right? And every time that they send somebody in, you fight or flight it back. Oh, I draw a card. Oh, I rebuke it. Oh, I draw a card. Oh, I sack my overzealous fan. I draw a card. Like every single card in your deck just cantrips now because they quite frankly messed up printing those cards decks. So, yeah, he's a 10. Not only is he probably the best printed text legend, but he also has a absolutely broken champion unit, which is one that we've already gone over, and his 6 spell. Well, you'll hear about my rating on that card too here in just a second. So, yeah.
Alex, anything to add?
No, I mean this guy's a 10. The crazy part is I don't actually know that he's better than Annie, but he's just insane. Like, again, so many things they could have altered with this card to make it better. The way winning a combat works in this game is very weird to me, where you can like fight or flight a guy out on defense and just, oh, I draw a card. Like now all my push spells, all my bounce spells, they all just draw a card. Like this just that not tapping is the biggest oversight too, because so many of these cards have to tap to activate their effects. But on this guy, for some reason, they said,
Nah.
he doesn't need to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like. I hate too that a lot of these like issues are in the color red. Like, I don't want to be like someone at Riot is a big fan of red type aggro decks, but starting to look a little suspicious in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, this is like, if this leader isn't a 10, like Kais is a 10, this leader's a 10. If this leader's not a 10, I don't know what is. I mean, this guy's just broken. Like, this guy is very, very insane. The early results from China kind of support that. Again, I could see a world where this guy actually sees zero play because Annie is just strictly better with all the gold generation now. But the moment that Annie was gone, this guy would instantly take his place. So I would say a 9 is the rating I was going to give. But like, I'm not going to argue with Colin's 10. Like, I can understand why someone would rate this leader a 10. This guy is broken.
If we're if we're rating it in a vacuum, then
in a vacuum, it's by far a 10.
The fact that Annie is,
it's a 10. In a vacuum, it
certainly
is
a 10.
This is the legend that, like, if you pull this in your sealed, you're gonna win your sealed. Like, unless your red purple pull is absolute trash,
congrats.
this is the best. Like, this is better than Kaisa in sealed. This is the legend. Like, in a vacuum, you don't even need to pull its champion. You don't need to have the axe. Just read this card. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's no champ that's better than, or legend that's better than this. It's just, and I hope to God for the health of this game that there's not a better legend than this one printed for the next like 4 or 5 sets. Like, this is the type of legend I would expect to see on like come out in like set 10 or something. Like, it's just insane.
I see a Twitch chat comment. How much will you pay me to playtest Garen a week for you guys? Tell you what, bud, I'll give you this right now. Just you only. I don't have approval to do this, but Alex the Don Hat, if you win a Garen medal card, we'll put you on. I'll feature you on the YouTube. I'll use my one favor. You can come on and do a stream or something with us if you can win a Garen medal card.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I did see someone asking about if we'll be going to EU, and I think both Daniel and myself are locked in for EU right now. Alex,
I have gotten.
Are still waiting for tickets.
I might just go even without the ticket and see if I can get in person. I kind of got on the wait list a little too late. I had a lot to do the day signups were going. We'll all be at Vegas, but EU is like 50-50 for me, especially since I'm planning to go to China, and my wife is already not happy about that. So
yeah, I'm on waitlist for EU, but if I get in on waitlist, or if something happens and it's in the cards for me financially to just go out there and try to grind side events and hope for the waitlist get in, then I might run it. Daniel, did you have anything to add to Glorious Executioner here?
Draven is broken. One of the best leader in the set, one of the best leaders in the game. I can't believe they printed this. 10 out of 10.
10 for you as well. All right. Now moving on to his signature spell, the Spinning Axe. This is an equipment. It costs 2 energy and a power. It has the quick draw ability, which is that its reaction and attach it right away. It equips for any color power, and it does have temporary. +3 might.
I roll my eyes at this card. This card's insane. We've seen how much just like 2 costs for +2 is, 1 cost for +1 is, and this is a 2 cost for +3 that is permanent. And obviously the temporary being the downside, where if you drop the axes on your opponent's turn, it can go away and be quote unquote bad for you. But if you're using it on your turn offensively and then like sacking your guy's dying, and oh no, your axes go back, or your opponent had something to send your axes back, well, you can just equip it anyways for a single power. I've seen a couple of Chinese lists and that are only playing 2, and for that reason, plus the sake of Alex's health, I'll give this card a 9. But it's
card's not a 10.
close. Like,
This card is not a 10.
pushing
Falling
this.
Star. No. Stop. I'll actually argue this, drinking or not.
Oh, here comes the Colin and
Falling Star.
here comes the Colin Alex argument drink.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what?
You just can't
This
win.
card
If
protects
I'm
you
gonna-
from falling star.
It
That's
does
the other
protect you
point.
from
Oh,
falling
okay,
star.
I
Okay,
was
hold on,
Falling
hold on.
Star, but
If I
by
make-
that
if
logic,
I
I'm
make the
yielding
argument that
Spirit
it's
is
not
a
bad,
10.
right?
Like,
I-
no.
I do not think this
No.
card is Falling Star. It has to
No,
be
this
one
card is not
point
Falling
below
Star. It's not Watcher. It also can only be played in one deck. So in a vacuum, this card is not a 10. Like, this card is very good.
I mean,
And
under that
think-
argument,
I would
then,
say
like,
9
no
is
6 spell can
appropriate.
be a 10.
Well, no 6.
I
name a
think
6
9 is
spell that you
appropriate
think
for
is a 10. Name a 6 spell to me that you think
I'm
is a
not
10.
saying that one currently exists. I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
like, in theory, one could exist.
One
right?
could be a 10 because it's just like so egregious, but I've not seen a 6 spell that
Yeah.
I would rate a 10 in a vacuum. Even not in a vacuum. I don't think there's one that exists that would be a 10. I
Yeah,
personally rate this card an 8. This is a rant, not an argument.
Sure, it's a 9.
So you
for
don't have
me.
to down the
It's
whole
a
thing.
drink
I
either
think it's-
way. Yeah.
I think this
think
card's a
it's,
9. Yes.
I think it's pushing it, but
This
yeah,
is
like I said,
very
there have been
good,
a
but the
couple of
temporary-
lists.
the-
Yeah,
the
the temporary is a real
hold-
downside. Yeah,
That's
I'll
huge.
give you
Like
that.
that's like if it didn't have the temporary, I still wouldn't give it a 10. But at least I could.
If it
hear
didn't
why
have the
you would-
temporary, I think you'd be obligated to give it a 10. That would just be.
No.
Yeah, I would give it a 10.
Dude, a
for the
10 is a
temporary.
fall. A 10s are falling
It's-
star and
yes.
Watcher. You're
I'm-
telling me
Yes,
this on
if the
aware.
card never went away.
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yes.
So I pay 2 and a power to give something +3 for like a turn cycle, and then I can give it for at any point for the rest of the game. I can pay a power to give it 3. That would be a 10. That would absolutely be a 10. Temporary is the only thing keeping this card from being a 10.
I can't believe
Yeah,
you guys
that-
think this is in the same tier as Falling Star and Watcher. This is a card that can be played in one deck that costs the power.
Well, no.
Like,
Here's the thing: if you could play it in every deck would play it. That is the difference.
Yes.
no,
Every single
okay,
deck in the game would play this card.
I can't.
if they could.
Yeah.
No. Here's the thing: if this card didn't have temporary and didn't have the one deck restriction, and you gave it a 10, then I would say, okay, fine, that's reasonable. Like every deck can play it. It doesn't have temporary. Fine, 10, I'll accept. But right here, this is an 8. Like this is fucking crazy. Like
I was gonna say 8 as well.
I think
I
Alex
mean-
is a hater.
Thank you,
You're not
Anson.
just
Reasonable
drunk.
human
I
being.
think that it's a insane combat trick, but it's still a combat trick, and for me, combat tricks are not gonna be 10s.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
what-
a
what does
combat trick that sticks.
Yes. Does
what
require a
What
body.
does a combat trick have? What does a combat trick have to do to be a 10?
Maybe
it
punch
has to
first.
fucking-
I don't know.
Punch first is closer
No,
to the
even
10.
punch first. No, even punch
Punch
first
first
is
pretty
not.
nice.
We're not going to go down this.
The
road
biggest
again.
problem with
You-
combat
you
tricks
can-
is that there always you need to have a body. Like if you're sitting on the board
You're
states
in
where
the Draven deck. So
yes, but if you're sitting
Like,
I'm
on a
still
board,
ranting.
if you're sitting on a board after getting hit with a rain, for instance, right? You have no board. Got 2 axes in your hand. Oh well, what's my 10 doing right now? Nothing.
okay, but the axe can save me from the rain.
Yes, if you had mana up, sure.
This
But
is-
there are instances in a mid-range deck when you're not Annie, that you're not untapping 2 all the time, that you don't have 2 up. Like
I mean, if the
I think
biggest
you guys
downside
are
this
just
card
haters.
has
This
is that you have
card's
to pay
broken.
mana for it, then
I mean,
like,
8 is
every
still
card
insane.
fucking
8's still
terrible.
very high.
Downside, pay
Yeah,
mana
what
for
do you
it.
want it to be?
Agreed.
Force a will the weapon? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, if this
Uh,
card
what
costs
is-
0, it would be even better. Agreed.
this is. I actually
cards are
don't even
better
think
than
this is
the
the
real ones.
bag. Yeah, the fake cards are always better than. That should have been in my drinking game. I'm gonna drink to that.
Of course you
Oh,
are.
yeah.
He's like,
Holy
don't make me
fuck,
drink,
my
guys.
wife.
I'm gonna drink to that.
My-
Yeah,
my
we're
wife
gonna have
is
to
gonna
apologize
kill
to
me.
Reyna.
Yeah, my Reina's
Yeah.
gonna absolutely kill me for this.
You said you drink on
Uh,
holidays
but-
anyway.
I do. I just also told you that my family doesn't invite me to events because
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
fucking
fair.
raging
That's
drunk.
fair. That's fair. Yeah.
My sisters literally don't
Yeah.
invite me to their birthday parties. Like, so
Trauma dumping.
it's gonna be. I don't even think it's not even trauma. I don't mind. I
okay, I'm not.
deserve
I'm not gonna
everything.
get
like,
you going
this
anymore.
is not unearned. This is not like my parents like getting in an argument and like fighting each other or something. This is well deserved. Like
Mom and Dad are fighting about the rating of Draven's axe again.
This is
Yeah, I mean, we can barely handle you sober, buddy. I get it. Don't worry, I get it.
This is not even. This is like the second or third best sig spell in the game for me, or in this set rather. Sorry, for me right now. This is not the best. I'm gonna give it an 8, just because after talking about it enough, I feel like it's not even a 9. It's a very good card. Don't get me wrong, but no.
Okay, moving on. We got 8s. We've got 8s and 9s. We're moving on to Void Burrower.
Oh, that's my bitch.
Yep, that's your bitch. Yeah. We've got the legend for Rek'Sai, Void Burrower. This is a Fury and Order legend. When you conquer, you may exhaust me to reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one of them and recycle the rest.
Yeah, I think this card's pretty good in a vacuum. It's going off that between that Chosen Champ and its 6 spell. Nothing crazy, but it is a really good effect. You know, every turn you're essentially just playing off the top. You're playing so many units in this deck that you're just essentially getting a free 2-drop per turn. This is doing what Draven probably should have, given that it can, you know, at best draw you 1 card a turn. Unlike Draven, because reasons. I guess it's not in red purple, so that's probably why. So, anyways, rant all to say that this card is really solid. I don't know if the Rek'Sai deck is good enough in order to compete, but it does have some matchups that it actually completely demolishes because of how powerful this ability is. So, yeah, I'll give her like a. I'm between a 6 and a 7 here, but we'll go with a 6 just because I don't like these strategies generally, personally.
So is the person who's probably played the most Rek'Sai on the team, and I have a personal favoritism towards this. I think this effect is crazy, but my biggest issue is the color combination is just horsecock, like straight like fucking. It's just not good. Like. This color combination does not synergize well together, and I think that's one of the biggest things that holds this deck back. And then, of course, Dais to Falling Star. This deck suffers the most of any deck I've ever seen to Dais to Falling Star because you are spamming the board with guys that all just die to Falling Star. So this swarm grand stratagem play lines just don't work as well. But there are some decks that literally this deck just 100 zeros. For starters, the Victor control deck that you guys have probably been seeing will never beat this deck. Not in 8 billion years. Like, you can have all the Bellows Breath and Imperial Decrees you want. Like, this deck just produces so many units. No hard control deck will ever beat this because of how much you draw, how many units you shit out. So that's nice. I'm still playing around with different builds of this. I like Rek'Sai a lot. I don't see a world where it can reasonably beat Kai'Sa, at least not in my playtesting so far. And I think that's kind of a bar that's pretty high. I personally think Rek'Sai is a meta leader. I think you can get a meta leader with this very reasonably if you put the time into it. But I think this deck is kind of just like another run-of-the-mill swarm deck. It's better than Darius. I'll give it that to it. I think its 6 spell is better. I think its effect is better. So I think it's not unreasonable that you get a meta leader with this. But as of right now, until I find something better, I don't think this is it. I think it's very unlikely you make top cut, especially if Kai'Sa is still seeing the same play rate it did in set 1. I love this deck. I'm a big fan. It is a bit of a high roll deck, though, because you have so many cards that do things when you find them. Mainly the Underburrower, the one that generates 2 mana, or Under Titan or whatever it's called. I think that's a big part of this deck. But again, it does have a very high roll feel to it. I love this deck, but I think I am in agreement with Colin's rating. This is a 6 out of 10, mostly because of the color combination.
Yeah, I think 6 out of 10 is reasonable. I mean, it basically reads like you get to do a little miniature stack deck like every turn. I think the main issue is the color combination and the size of the creatures that you're playing in this deck. 'Cause you have to play a lot of cheap creatures to justify like the way that the deck functions, and it just makes the deck really bad into the base removal, the Falling Star, the Acathian Rain. I think if you could like find a way to mitigate that issue, I could see this leader getting way higher. But as a leader that basically just says draw an extra card each turn, I think 6 out of 10 is right where it should be.
Yeah, I think Void Burrow's like a 7 for me. I think drawing an extra card is really strong. It is a little situational because like you have to play the unit. It's not just as good as Draven's. Just draw a card, any card doesn't matter. But I still think it's a really powerful effect in a vacuum, and solid 6 spell, decent champion. We're gonna see the 6 spell up next, but yeah, I think it's a 7 for me. Next up, we got Void Rush for 2 energy and a power. This is Rek'Sai's 6 spell. It says, reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one of them, reducing its cost by 2 energy. Draw any you did not play this way.
Yeah, I'm actually like kind of the biggest hater of this card. I do think it probably sees play in the Rek'Sai deck, but this is not like the type of card that's really carrying the deck. I'm never like going into playing against Rek'Sai and I'm like, oh man, I hope they don't play a Void Rush against me. That'll be terrible. But it's just like, it's whatever. You're essentially paying 0 and a power to draw 2, but in order to get that effect, you have to play one of them immediately. So it's fine. It helps them filter through the deck. The power can be kind of rough to play early. So yeah, I think you'll still play max copies in most Rek'Sai decks, but it's you know, if I see a list without this card or at a lower amount, I will not be surprised. So I'll put it as 7.
Yep, I'm in agreement. I think this is a 7 out of 10 card. The only thing I disagree with is like, there's no reason not to play this. I think this should be max copies, at least 2, like at the very minimum in a Rek'Sai deck because of what it does. Like, it is just draw 2 for 2, like which is above average for the standard in most of these current decks, and then it like has upside where it just like, oh, you find a 2-drop, okay, you just play that guy for free. Like, this is Pot of Greed. For those of you who aren't familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, that's just draw 2. 7 out of 10 is perfectly. I don't think the Sig spell is carrying this deck by any means, but I think it's still very good. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the leader where they're both like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10s. It's just like, it's fine. I don't see a reason you should not play this card in the deck. It's very good. It adds to the high roll. There's not much else to say about this card.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. It's just like generic draw 2 is fine. It's something that most decks would like to play. Cost is like annoying if you happen to hit it early off of your leader, but you're gonna play the draw 2. I'd be surprised if there are decks running less than 3 of this. Generic draw 2 sometimes costs 0. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think Void Rush is just like, it's decent. Probably like it's like a 6 for me. Probably like a 6, I would give it. Don't have too much more to add. I do think the deck really wants a lot more reveal triggers to be good. Just kind of how the same way with Jinx, where we were like, oh, we would really like more discard payoffs. I would like a few more like if this is revealed. And I don't know that we're gonna get more of that in the next set unless something in this color pair also deals with revealing cards from the top of your main.
Yeah, I do agree that a lot of the cards in this, like, the reveal top of main things are very, like, you can only play these in Rek'Sai type cards.
We were asked what our McDonald's order is.
I haven't eaten McDonald's in probably, by no exaggeration, probably over a decade. I don't eat fast food for the most part, except Dunkin' Donuts. And even then, it's just a breakfast sandwich, so.
Yeah, I like the McDonald's breakfast. Fuck up a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle.
I think the last time I ate McDonald's was in Vegas with Anton, and I just got a bunch of scrambled eggs.
Just got a ton of eggs. Yep.
That's mine.
Next up, we've got Ornn legend, the Fire Below the Mountain. This is a calm and mind legend. It has reaction. You can add a power. Seems familiar. Only to play gears or use gear abilities.
Yeah, kind of the same restriction as Alex isn't here, so I can say her name. Kaisa has, obviously, just for gears, and in a color combination that was really struggling in set 1. As cool as Ari is as a character in League lore, and I'm sure a lot of people want to play her, her legend ability combined with her chosen champion are just not particularly good. Ornn, on the other hand, is particularly good. I think it's not quite to the level that Kaisa is, obviously, but is very, very strong, and I like him a lot. The only issue we've kind of had with him, as Daniel was alluding to, is he's got some real big problems with Thermo Beam existing. You want to be playing a ton of gears, and the fact that they printed a heavy storm, Shatter Storm for my Magic players out there in set 1 is crazy to me. I guess they were just concerned with not having an answer to this card, but the issue is when you print a card like that, like the majority of the metagame right now is going to be able to play that card. So it's a little bit tougher Ornn right now in the grand scheme of things. But in a vacuum, him and his chosen champ and Sig are all pretty good. So I'd probably give him like a 7. He's solid for sure.
Daniel, any thoughts?
Yeah,
you can go, Alex, if you
I
want.
heard.
Do you want to go real quick? Or?
I was gonna say I have wireless headphones, so I heard your mention of Kaisa, which I drank for.
I see.
Nice try. I would take a piss, but I hear everything. So
just drinking in the restroom. Yep.
No, all right, Daniel, you can go. You can have at it.
Okay, yeah, I think this effect is very strong. Reducing the cost on gears is not as good as reducing the cost on spells, so I can't give it a 10, but I actually think that this is the type of leader that will scale up the longer, like the more sets you have. So I think right now he's probably a 7. I think with a few more sets, he'll probably be closer to an 8 or a 9. So I guess somewhere between 7 or 8 is how I have to rate him now. This guy just like breaks the mana system if you have enough gear that can give you enough value. Like, so like the basic thing you can do is like seals. I just get to play a seal on turn 1 every game if I want to. But if we start getting things that are like very strong gears that happen to have a power cost tacked onto them, you start having more and more support for Ornn. It starts becoming like, it could just become a major problem like Kaisa, where the deck just has so many good things to spend its hero power on. I think 8 is probably a reasonable place to put him.
Yeah, and I'm kind of agreeing with Daniel here. Like the more like seals are like the first thing that comes to mind, but like beyond that, they've given us so many good power hungry equipments that are otherwise probably unplayable in other decks. Things like Poro Snacks, things like the Flute, whose name I can't pronounce, Saveller song. Yeah, I'm just not going to try. Just a lot of different.
The Nordic name, I think.
Yeah, sure. I'm just not going to try to pronounce that, but like all these equipments that would otherwise be much harder to play, like seals, in my opinion, are very average. They're like a 5 out of 10 card. But when you put them in a deck like this, they're just so much better when they're just free.
Yeah.
Like the first one is free, and then every seal after pays for every seal after. I really like this leader. I think the biggest thing is it is the like ultimate boggles leader, especially with the 6 cost, kind of like we talked about yesterday, being like the ultimate boggles unit. I think that this leader is very good. It has what I consider one of the best color combinations in the game. And I think it's nice because my disappointment with Ari was that both its legend and its chosen champion effect were so weak, but it had such a good color combination. And I think here I'm a little more impressed with what this leader does, especially given the color combination. I really like this legend. I think it's very good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well. And I think the room for improvement only gets higher. It's like Daniel said, it's the Kai'Sa of gears. Like, that's pretty solid. Like, I think his chosen champion is better than Kai'Sa's too. So I'm just.
Oh yeah, his chosen champion definitely is very strong.
Yes,
Better than Kai'Sa.
I think this is just
my.
I think my biggest thing that I like about this is it allows for a unique strategy that, even though we only had 2 sets so far, it allows for a strategy that we haven't seen a whole lot of in set 1 so far. So I'm just a big fan. I like him. I think it's cool. I don't think the strategy is so unbeatable that it's just like, this is not fun, it's not interactive, etc., etc. I like him. So, big fan.
Yeah, I think that Ornn is a solid 8 for sure. I'm in agreement with that. I do think I would probably argue a little bit. I do think that just mostly about the spells versus gear thing. I think that providing power for permanence in my mind is more significant than providing power for a one-time use card, because it's a permanent. So you're getting multiple uses out of it. You're getting value out of it for the remainder of the game. So I think Ornn's actually really insane. Even beyond the seals, like just being able to, he's also a little more flexible than Kai'Sa, or where Kai'Sa can only use it for spells. Ornn can also use these for equip effects. So his power is actually like usable in multiple instances. Obviously, in our game, the blue-red cards are really insane. The Kai'Sa spells are really, really strong. So I do think, like, in the context of the meta, Kai'Sa is obviously a better leader. But yeah, I think Ornn's really strong.
Yeah, I mean,
I also think Alex is drunk when he's saying that better chosen champion than Kai'Sa Survivor. That's crazy to me. But
and that might be pushing it a little.
Yeah,
bit,
I think you're pushing it a little.
Kai'Sa Survivor is one of the best cards in the game.
This whole deck revolves around the chosen champion.
If you build it that way, yes. If you build it that way, yes. Kai'Sa Survivor doesn't matter what way you build it. That champion's broken.
The way that I would think about it is like, there are a bunch of different decks that will run 3 Kai'Sa Survivor in the main deck to try and get that effect.
All right. Let me give you guys a better reference point here. When I say, like, Kai'Sa Survivor is a better card than the Ornn 6-drop. But in this deck, I guess because we're rating things in a vacuum, in this deck specifically, if you don't have that chosen champion, this is not a deck. Like,
yes, the deck does not function without the chosen champion.
Maybe I phrased that poorly. I can agree with that. And since we mentioned Kai'Sa.
Yep.
Okay, and now Ornn is the first legend to actually have 3 different signature spells. So rather than
have to speed run these,
rather than reviewing
speed run rapid fire.
Yes, rather than reviewing all 3 sig spells, we're going to review all 3, but we're going to hopefully try to keep these pretty short and sweet. The Forge Fire Cape is the first one. These all cost 4 energy and 2 power, just so you know. So we're gonna skip all that. They're unique, so
and
you can only have
1 rainbow to equip. Correct?
Yes, they're all 1 rainbow to equip, and they're all unique, which is your deck can only have 1 card with this name. This is the first time we've seen the unique keyword. Don't know how much more we'll be seeing of that, but this is the only instance we have in this set of that. When I attack or defend, you deal 2 to all enemy units here, and it gives a +3 might buff.
So we're just doing them individually as we go on. I will
say, let's go.
Yeah. We'll just
super quickly. I think all 3 of these would be better if only one of them existed in Ornn and instead. So, but again, fake cards much better than the other ones. So this one I'm gonna give like I'm gonna give it like a 4. To be honest, I don't really expect it to see him play in many Ornn decks. It's not my favorite, but you may see it occasionally here or there. So
I'm of the opinion this is the worst one because it, like, most of the time units usually just attack alone. No, truly, like, the ceiling on this one is the lowest. I think that units often attack alone, and even when they attack in multiples, the 2 like, they're going to be higher than 2 might anyway. So, like, this one is just fine. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It's acceptable. It just, like, it has to be paired with the other ones to be good. It's fine. It's fine. I wouldn't personally play this in Ornn.
Yeah, I think it's about a 5. It's like good. It's a lot of extra stats on your Ornn for not a lot of cost. I think this card's probably like maybe you play it in the sideboard, not in the main board, but overall I would say it's about a 5. It's just like good. It's acceptable. It's something that you could consider playing.
Yeah, I think it's a sideboard card. You could even consider main boarding it, but definitely I would not have my side and main without this card. I think just because of how great it is into like things like Imperial Decree and stuff like that. Yeah,
Sure.
I think that the card's solid, and it's a 5 for me as well. Next up, we got Rabadon's Death Crown. Same cost, same unique equipped, and your spells and abilities deal 3 bonus damage and another +3 might.
When did
I
they
think
change Death Cap to Death Crown?
I think it's just because it's like the legendary version or
Death
whatever.
Crown is the
Oh, right.
You know,
So
when
in
you
the
get
game,
the
see,
Ornn
that's
buffs.
his-
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's his buffed up version of Rabadon.
yeah.
So-
Ornn buffs up your items in the game.
Yes, the masterpiece, right. Yeah.
Yes,
So-
exactly.
I think this one is the worst currently, but has the highest, like, the ceiling on this one is much higher, because if you do get to a point where, like, let's say Ornn is playing a bunch of, like, removal-based spells or damage-based spells, this just gets much better. I like this a little better than the last one. Obviously, in combination with one another, they're crazy, but if I have to rate them, like, standalone, the last one is probably better, but I just think the ceiling on this one is so high, especially with cards like Bellows Breath, and the more damage-based removal we get. I'm going to give this one like a 6 out of 10. Because the ceiling on this one is so high, I think I like this one a little bit better than the last one.
I'm going to give this one another 5 out of 10. I think that this is the type of card that we wish we could run 3 of, because then you could like maybe build around it. But since you can only run 1 of it and you can't consistently see it, it's the type of card that like I really wish I could Bellows Breath my opponent's base for 4 and then hit their battlefield for 4. Because I don't know whether I'm going to see the Rabadons. I don't know if I can play Bellows Breath. It's like a whole deck building problem. If we could run 3 of it, I could very much see this card being a higher rating. But since it's a unique card, I have to rate it a 5. It's just like it's just acceptable, and maybe you can fit it. Like maybe you can make a deck work that runs it and benefits from it.
Yeah, 5 sounds good to me. I'll definitely be trying this in Ornn, but again, your deck doesn't have there's no tutors, so trying to build my entire deck around this strategy is just is rough when there's only one of them in my deck.
Yeah, I like a 5 for it as well. I think being able to play a singularity that deals double 9s sounds sick.
Yeah, sounds great. I'd like to do that.
Next up, we've got Shrelia's Requiem. Same everything. Your units here have ganking, and this one only gives +2 might.
Well, this one also.
Wait, sorry, yes.
Units,
One more line of
relevant.
text. Anton misread the card. Drink, Alex. When you play this, ready your units.
Yeah. This
Amen,
is by
brother.
far and away, based on how Ornn wants to play, kind of his best one, right? You can get Ornn to these massive numbers, and when you have Shirelia's, the fact that he can gank between both battlefields means that your opponent can never hold to win unless they can actually kill the Ornn, or like play a Time Warp or something, right? So this is by far and away his best one. And I expect this to be played in every Ornn deck from now until the end of time. So I'll give it like an 8.
Alex, what do you think?
Gonna say this one's like I think this one's like a 9. I think honestly the only thing that like holds it back from being like a 10, because the whole deck kind of revolves around this card being playable, is that it is a 1 of 1. And that kind of holds it back from like its true potential. But like I think this one's incredible. This is the best one by a country mile, like not even close. The +2s are relevant. All you care about is that it has ganking, because this is a boggle type strategy where you're just trying to move side to side every turn. I love this one. I think like it's not unreasonable. Your deck has to, as Ornn, has to auto include this and there's a good chance that you don't even include either of the others anywhere in the 48. Whereas this one just has to be included, no exceptions. So I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. That might be a little high, but I think this card's broken.
No, I mean, I don't think 9 out of 10 is high at all, because I would run as many copies. Like, I would try to run 3 copies of this card if I could. I would run the ganking boots from purple if I could. Ganking on an equip is just so unbelievably strong. You're trying to get your Ornn up to like 15 power or something, like, 15 power plus. You're just trying to, like, this is the best card in the deck. It makes the deck work to the point where you'll run worse versions of the effect, like Azir, to get the same effect, but like for a more expensive rate. I think this card's a 9. I'm not sure what you can do to make it a 10, but it's like really close. It's just very, very strong. You want to see it every game.
Salty Bumblebee in the chat said, I don't know, I feel like you can't say the deck revolves around the card and then say cards like Green Ornn are bad when they help you find the card. Green Ornn
doesn't actually... It doesn't tutor that much. It's only 4 cards, right?
Yeah.
It only looks at...
We have played heavy versions, and I have whiffed with Green Ornn. Also, in the curve of what Ornn needs to do before it can actually win the game, like, you need to be playing Ornn turn 3, ideally. You're not trying to play Green Ornn and then...
6.
Yeah. And you're not trying to play Green Ornn on 6 energy. You're trying to play your Blue Ornn down as quickly as possible. You don't really have time to play the Green Ornn by the time, like, the next turn when you're on, say, 8, for instance, you don't have time to really play Green Ornn there either, because he's costing you 5. Like, that only leaves you with 3 up. That's not a lot of interaction. It also means you're not developing more gears, which is what you need to be doing turn 4 and onwards, is just stacking everything you can on your Blue Ornn. There's literally 0 time to play Green Ornn in the deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you just have to develop other stuff is really where the issue lies. More to the point is the deck being built around this card is that we put you have to put like kind of bad cards in your deck, such as Azir is the one that we've been using.
I mean, I don't think Azir's a bad card. He's good.
Yeah, I mean, before this, people were using Hextech Plate and Breakneck.
Yeah, the really janky combo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because ganking to your Ornn was so powerful. So that's all to say that this card is very good, and you build your deck around this card, but you build around it in a way that you have alternatives should you not see Shirelia's. Just the games that you see Shirelia's become so much easier. And if this color combination could play like Boots of Swiftness, then this card would go way down on the list.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you cannot. So.
To be clear, the main build around of this deck is the Blue Ornn, not Shirelia's itself.
Yeah,
so, like,
that's
the
fair.
Blue Ornn itself is the actual build around, but Shirelia's on its own doesn't give us our win con. We need it attached to a Blue Ornn.
True.
Yeah, I would give this card a solid 7 or an 8. Probably pushing 8. Yeah, I'll give it 8.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got Grandmaster at Arms, Jax Legend. This is a Calm and Body Legend. Jax says 1 energy and exhaust to attach a detached equipment you control to a unit you control, or you can just exhaust him to attach an attached equipment you control to a unit you control.
Another legend that actually exhausts itself to use its ability. Crazy.
Yeah, that works.
While also having a less powerful effect. Anyways, I would say that, I don't know, this card has not been super impressive to me. I haven't really seen it played much, so I can't really give much of a comment on it. Its ability seems fine. I know Anton has been our Jax expert, so I'll kind of default to him. My gut gives me like a 5, to be honest. I don't think it's a particularly strong
I'm giving
ability.
it a 5.
Its Sig spell is very good. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm right on the money there. So
yeah,
I don't have to say much more than that, but a 5 it is.
Anything to add, Daniel or Alex?
I'd say, so when I think about this leader, I think about like Lee Sin is like a 3, the same color combination, right? I think about like Lee Sin is like a 3, Yi is like a 7 or an 8. This card's like right in the middle where it does something that the other two don't, but I don't know that it doesn't compare to what Yi does. Like Yi just gives the stats for free. Jax, you actually have to find the equip, and you have to be able to spend the mana to equip. So I think 5 is like perfectly reasonable. He's in a decent color combination and he's got a unique effect. So
yeah, I think 5 or 6 is fine. Like he does have 2 effects, but you can't activate both effects in the same turn.
Yeah.
So they're like 2 lines of text is kind of like he has like 1 line of text. You just choose from the 2 of them.
Yeah, he's got 1 line of text that
Yeah, he's modal. Like he's fine. I just think given the color combination, given everything we've seen out of him, I've not been particularly impressed with him. His chosen champions are just like fine. They're not terrible. They're not great. Like I think 5 out of 10 is just like this guy would be like a C tier leader. That's kind of where I stand on him.
Yeah, I think after having played him a fair amount, that's kind of where I have him out. Like, I am going to still try a few more different builds. Maybe try more of like a ramp style late game version, like we kind of did with Yi. Not going Aurora level, but like focusing more on bigger guys in the late game and seeing if moving equipment around between those makes a difference. But in my early like mid range 2-drop version of this deck, he was just like okay, just middle of the road. I think that his chosen champions are both like kind of mediocre. I think that they're fine. They're not like horrible cards to start in your opening hand, but they're not fantastic units. And
the 4-drop one being 3 power is like so magic.
Yeah, at least it does have Weapon Master.
He could be like a reasonable draw engine if he just had 4 power.
I agree. But yeah, I do think his 6 spell's really good, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And I think that's like where like the best part of the deck is. I just don't know that we have the other tools right now to like really take advantage of this. I also think that like some of the blue and the orange equips just like don't really, or sorry, the green and the orange equips don't really like mesh in a way that's like as cool as say the red and orange, where you have like the really cool spear combo. So I've just kind of been underwhelmed by the color combos equipments.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we'll talk about Counter-Strike. This is his 6th spell for 2 and a power. This is a reaction speed spell. It says choose a unit. The next time that unit will be dealt damage this turn, prevent it and draw 1.
This card
Terrible.
power is this card's crazy.
Yep.
It can do some pretty crazy stuff just if you have like your big guy and your opponent sends all their units into it. Then the way that damage works in this game is no matter how many units are sent into it, it's all dealt at once. So it would prevent all of that damage, and you get a draw card to boot.
Reaction speed.
That being said, it is reaction speed. Focus will pass back to your opponent, so if they have like a Hextech Ray or something, then they can use that to stop this Counter-Strike from being from like completely destroying you, which is the only thing preventing this from having like a perfect score, right? But and then additionally, they can send like, if you're only doing it to save like a 5 or 6 might guy, then they can send in 5 or 6 might worth of guys, they Counter-Strike it, and then you send another 5 or 6 mode in to break it a second time. That being said, this card is, if Jax is playable, this card is definitely a reason why, and I'd put it at an 8. Every Jax deck will be playing through this card, and I think it is crazy, crazy strong.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think this card is very, very good. This is in the vein of 2-mana card, does affect draw card. And if you watched our stream yesterday, I think I ranted enough about that. I won't today. But I do feel like there is an unorthodox number of 2-mana spells that do thing and then draw a card. I digress. That is not for here or now. This card is, I agree, it's about an 8 out of 10. It's very good. Reaction speed obviously saves this. The problem is just like you do kind of have to play a mediocre leader. But I do think this card is very good, and I think I don't even know that it needed the draw card line of text. That's kind of what like elevates it above all else. So yeah, there's not much to say about this. You're probably playing 3 of this if you're playing Jax, and it is one of the things that enables you to actually play Jax. So
Yeah, I'd say it's like basically 2 mana, win a combat, draw a card. I would play that in most decks. It's just unfortunate that it's attached to Jax.
Yeah, if if the Trinity Force deck exists, it's outside of the combo, like just a holding Trinity Force deck. I think that Jax is the deck where it makes the most sense, and this card is a reason why. Just letting you hold against like them throwing their whole army into your big stacked up dude, and you're just like, nope, I'm gonna just stun your whole. I take no damage, and I just get to like wipe a ton of your army and cantrip. Like, yeah, spell's very nice. I would also give it an 8. Next up, we've got the Blade Dancer. This is the Irelia legend in Calm and Chaos. She says, when you choose a friendly unit, you may exhaust me and pay a power to ready it. When you conquer, you may pay 1 energy to ready me. Colin, you want to
This
start
card
us off?
is, yeah, this card's really good. I love Aurelia. I think she's pretty flavorful and pretty cool with how all of her stuff is designed. Obviously, I give her Chosen Champ a very high score, and I'll give her Legend 1 too. She's got a solid 6 spell. She's got a solid Chosen Champion that you can kind of play around and abuse every game. And her ability actually does have some pretty relevant text. You know, being able to haste your guys in whenever you want is crazy. Yasuo's kind of the comparison where it does a very similar thing, but Irelia cost a power. Yasuo's costs you 2 energy. So Yasuo's can be a little bit more less costly over the long haul, but this game is not one that's going to last a large amount of turns, right? From what we've seen, so just being able to immediately slam down your Aurelia, equip her, and ready her off the ability can cost a lot of power, but you know if you get your Aurelia in there, it's certainly worth it. And then unlike Yasuo, she can untap herself on Conquer, very similar to Set, and do it all over again. So with like a Boots of Swiftness, you can come out of nowhere, play your Aurelia Chosen Champ, equip her. She'll get an additional power to untap her, send her into a base, conquer, pay 1 to untap your Aurelia Legend, target her with something else to do it all over again, and then gank to the other side. So, yeah, she's just kind of like a ride the wind on a legend is what it feels like most of the time. So, I think the legend is super powerful. Expected to see a lot of play. I'll give her 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same vein. I think this is very good Chosen Champ, good Sig spell, good effect. I mean, this is just an all-around very good champion. This is another. I think the way we're seeing this built right now, it's a very protect the king type legend, and not that I have an issue with that. It's a little different from the way Ornn operates, where it's just like a straight Boggles deck, where this is more of a like play all these protection counters and like pump spells and just like keep dancing around and capturing battlefields. But no, I like this leader. I think 8 out of 10 is very appropriate for this. It has 2 lines of text, just like very good at what it does. Just I like this. I think this is a good leader, and I think this will be one of the top cut legends that you will see from this set. Like one that is like you're not just playing for a metal leader. You like actually can make top cut.
For sure.
Yeah, I think actually originally was underwhelmed by this leader. I hadn't really read through all the cards. And then after seeing it play, I basically have the opposite view where I think it does something like kind of unfair. I really like that it's just like so hard to interact with the Aurelia unit through combat using this leader. You can just spam ganks back and forth. You really don't need a lot to keep scoring 2 points. And then if somebody wants to try and break in, I think I've sent like 20 power or like 22 power into a point with Aurelia, lost the combat, and it wasn't particularly close. So like the deck, the leader rewards you for this sort of protect the king strategy, and the cards in the archetype are very good to support it. I think overall, like I think the basically having a 0 mana restand effect is very, very strong for this color combination. I very much like this leader. Probably 8 out of 10, I think is right.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Aurelia. I think she does something that a lot of other decks don't do. Might feel a little similar to Yasuo players, but of course that is the same color combo. But I think Irelia does it on a whole different level, and her champion unit is insane. I think her Sig spell that we'll talk about in a little bit is also very, very powerful. So, yeah, I think that she's going to be a contender for sure. I would give her probably like a 7, pushing an 8. So I'm going to drop a 7 to spare Alex a drink.
You guys are trying to make me make it through this stream, but it's not happening.
Yeah, I'll crash out soon.
Next up, we've got Defiant Dance. This is Irelia's signature spell. 1 energy and 1 power reaction speed. It gives a unit +2 might this turn and another unit -2 might this turn.
Yeah, this card's crazy strong. If y'all have heard my rants on Punch First, you know my opinions on that card, and this card is in combat, if you're playing it on your Irelia chosen champ, then it is literally a punch first. You're negging them 2 might and plussing you 3. So, and this one only costs you, not only does it only cost you a single power, but it's also at reaction speed. So, in the Irelia deck, this is just a better punch first, which is crazy. That being said, it is limited to Irelia, so not quite as universally played as punch first will be, but it's still crazy strong card. So I think I don't know, we'll give it like a 9. I think it is a crazy card that, I mean, obviously if somebody's playing Irelia, they'll play 3 of this card, and I think Irelia will see a lot of play. So great card.
Yeah, I give it an 8. It's very good. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the, I think it's the only 1-cost 6 spell. No, it's one of 2 1-cost 6 spells. Rumbles is also one. It's very good.
Rumble, yeah.
It very much falls in line with this Protect the King strategy. Big fan of this card. I think it's very, very good. Its impact on the board is a little low. Like it fits with your strategy, but it's not like a Cathian Reign, so it's not like insane or by any means, or like Showstopper. Like I think those cards are better than this. But it's very good nonetheless. Big fan, 8 out of 10. You're playing 3 of this in every Irelia deck, and I don't think there's an exception to that. Like I would be critical of someone who had 2 of this in their Irelia deck for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a 9. I think you should always be playing 3 of this in the deck. I think if other decks had the opportunity to play it, they'd also probably be playing 3 of it. Like a lot of decks would be playing 3 of it. Certainly you would. I think that it's very clearly the best combat trick in the colors. And I think we were talking earlier about how Draven's Axe being like a permanent 3 for 2 mana is absolutely insane. Well, this is 5 power swing for 1 mana. Like in terms of the strategy that you're doing, it is just the best thing, or it is the best thing in the game at doing what you're trying to do. The main problem, the only issue is that if you're not on Dreaming Tree, you can just run out of buff spells. And that's not necessarily a problem with the card, but it is a problem with like the buff spell archetype that you are burning a card to manipulate the board for a turn.
Yeah, for sure. Unlike equipment that stick around forever, right? Or Draven's Axes. So
exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to give this like an 8 just because I think that the combat tricks for me are still like, it's hard for me to push a combat trick above an 8, but this one is crazy. This one is so freaking crazy. Like punch first for 1 is so crazy.
Wait, doesn't punch first cost 1?
Yeah, but 1 power.
I guess 1 power.
1 power. Yeah.
Okay. Sure,
1 power is absurd for
Yes.
punch first. And then obviously all the other ways that it interacts with what your legend does, what your champion does. Like in a vacuum, I'd probably be giving this an 8, but yeah, in the context of like those 3 cards together, this card probably is actually a 9. It's pretty insane. Next up, we've got Emperor of the Sands. This is the Azir legend. It's in Calm and Order. It reads, your Sand Soldiers have Weapon Master. And for 1 energy, you can exhaust it to play a 2 Might Sand Soldier unit token to your base. Use only if you played an equipment this turn.
It's a good legend. It kind of replaces playing actual units in the deck with equipment, which can be strong, combined with his chosen champion to be able to send all these tokens in, as well as his Sig spell. I like Azir. I think he ends up showing up to be... He has a couple of issues. One is that I think it's a little bit too fair. He plays a lot like the Victor deck, but without access to Thousand Tail Watcher, without access to Singularity, and instead getting Calm cards, which are good. They just don't particularly synergize as well with the token strategy. On top of that, his weakness to Thermo Beam is obviously apparent, since you're relying pretty heavily on all of these equipments to buff your Sand Soldiers to be a little bit more than just 2s, right? So I'll give Azir overall like probably a 6. If Thermo Beam didn't exist, it'd be much higher, but unfortunately that card does. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of Azir. I've played against it a lot. I haven't played with it at all, but like I've been playing against our teammate Manton a bunch on this deck, and I've really been impressed with Azir and what he kind of has to offer. That being said, I do agree with Colin's sentiment that the Thermo Beam is kind of just a blowout for this deck sometimes. Like he has a lot of really cool tricks, and I really do like him. I actually think he's better than Victor, and Victor is a legend that's very near and dear to my heart, even if I don't play it. I think this is the more advanced version. I like a lot more what it has to offer, to be honest. So I'm a big fan of this legend. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. The tokens being 2 is huge, and having Weapon Master, there's so many cool tricks you can do with this deck. This is a deck that I think like could reasonably top. It's like right on the cusp for me of meta leader to reasonably could top. It's like very, very on the cusp. But I do like this legend, so 7 out of 10 seems appropriate.
What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I think 7 out of 10 is reasonable. I think somewhere between 6 and 7 is definitely where my head is at. The deck does have some like fatal flaws. It's not great against the sort of like base removal, like a Cathian Rain, like Falling Star. It's obviously going to struggle with Thermo Beam because your entire strategy revolves around keeping these equips in play, reusing them. You're in a pretty good color combination. Getting to run like counter spells and the token generation stuff. You get to run Hidden Blade, so like you're probably not doing too bad into decks like Annie that have a combo finish. I think it's just like a little vulnerable, and there's a sort of gap in the power level of some of the cards you get to run. Like Arise, I shouldn't be talking about it because we haven't talked about it yet, but the gap between like the sort of I get to run like a 3-mana creature for 2, which is like my turn 1 play, which is above stat line, versus the sort of like mediocre cards in the deck where there's like the 2-mana Spawn a Soldier that also can repeat. That card like doesn't quite up compared to the power level of the format. I just think there's like a little bit of a and the other thing is you're not drawing very many cards. So the deck has some fatal flaws where there's a gap in the power level. The concept is cool. The color combination's good. I think he's just missing a little bit. He's like Alex was saying, he's like right on the cusp where he just needs a little bit more push to become one of those top leaders that we're against.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the color combo. I was not happy with Leona last set. I really did have interest in brewing green-yellow, but like Leona was just not it. So I think Azir is much closer to a playable champ, like we've already said. Like I think that he's really powerful. The Weapon Master ability is strong. 2 Might token is actually a real unit, and then obviously if it's picking up an equipment, then it's even more real of a unit. That's a very efficient unit. 1 energy for 3 Might, 4 Might, 5 Might. Obviously very strong. I would probably give it like it's like a 7 for me. Colin, did you have a rating for Azir?
Yeah, I said 6 out of 10
Okay.
for Azir. I'm not a big believer, not because he's not powerful, but just because the best decks are currently Fury. So he'll have some trouble into those.
At least he's got Windwall though.
Yeah,
at least
he's
got
Windwall.
We've got Arise up next. His signature spell for 6 energy and a power. This plays a 2 Might Sand Soldier unit token for each equipment you control, and you get to ready 2 of them.
Yeah, a super cool Sig spell that's kind of like his finisher. Once you've made all these equipment, you made all these Sand Soldiers, now you get to make even more of them and get this super large board that in theory would be able to hold the board, but unfortunately Thousand Tail Watcher exists, so at least into that it's going to be kind of hard to hold. But into decks that aren't playing Thousand Tail Watcher, if hopefully we'll see a few more this set with the rise of Annie and Draven. You can really build like a crazy board that can be difficult for them to break through. So this card's really solid. You're definitely going to be building around it like kind of naturally in Azir. You don't have to do anything extra to make this happen. You're already just going to naturally be playing equipment anyways. So and then eventually you'll just make like a bunch of dudes and get to send 2 of them in with whatever the biggest equipment are each turn. So I love the card. It seems fun to play. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. It's just it's like a very good Sig spell. And I think this is one of the things that like kind of keeps the deck going, just being able to like kind of swarm. It does give you these haste units, and they all have Weapon Master too, so you can just like pick things up with the haste units. A big fan. I think it's going to be a 7 out of 10 for me as well.
Yeah, I think 7 out of 10 is right on the money. This card is your this is your answer to, oh, my board got nuked by Anacathian Rain. Oh, I got, Watchard plus Falling Star, like my board's gone. This is your way of being able to keep pushing even after your board's gone, which the Victor deck sometimes struggles with, just not being able to rebuild very quickly, having to take a turn off. Making 2 of the tokens hasted is very nice. You can potentially conquer up to 2 points the turn you play this card. Equips that you're bringing through the Weapon Master mechanic means that you can likely swing like 2. The turn you play this, you're swinging like 2 power guys into. So you're usually going to be able to conquer at least 1 point, sometimes 2 if your opponent's board is like a 2, a few 4s or 2s. This card's power level compared to like some of the rest of the deck is a lot higher. If all of the cards in the deck were at a similar power level, I think the deck would probably be in the sort of tier where it's competing with Kai'Sa, Annie, Draven. So yeah, I think 7, perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, I think 7's solid for a rise. Maybe even pushing close to an 8 for me, but I think 7 is where it should land. But yeah, I just each one of these guys you make 1 for each equipment, so every single one of them gets to pick something up, and it's just such a cool flavor card as well as being an actual powerful card. So I'm a big fan of the card.
We all gave that 7s, right? I didn't just drink for nothing.
No. You've been drinking for nothing
anyway.
I believe that's
correct.
Yeah, I kind of lost count, to be honest.
Next up, we've got the Prodigal Explorer. This is Ezreal's Legend, and it is in Mind and Chaos. Exhaust Reaction, draw 1. Why doesn't Draven have this? Use only if you've chosen enemy units and or gear twice this turn with spells or unit abilities.
Yeah, it reads pretty solid. I think this is the type of legend that potentially will get better as time goes on, but currently this color combination does not have enough to really trigger it in my minds. Let's see. Does this even? I don't actually know off the top of my head. Does this work with Bella's Breath alone, or do you have to target it with 2 different spells or abilities?
No.
One
it
Bellows
could be the
would
same.
work. Yeah.
Okay.
One
so
Bellows, one
Yeah,
Singularity.
combine this with Bellows or
Yeah.
Singularity. Like there are a lot of good things in this color combination that work with it, but Ezreal has not particularly performed super well for us so far in our testing. He just kind of has the issue of these color combination is very good for support and having the finisher and Thousand Tailed Watcher, but it's like middling creatures. It doesn't really have the power that we've seen out of the Fury decks, right? With like access to Forerunner and Darius Trifarian, all those sorts of cards. This color combination is really lacking on those powerful units that can survive the mid game and really get you to that late game that matters. So as time goes on, I expect this guy to be a little bit better, but as of right now, scoring points is a little bit too much when you're dirtling. So I'll give him, again, this is like in a vacuum level. Obviously his chosen champ is crazy good. This ability will be good at some point in time. So I'll give him a 6, even though I don't really expect him to perform super well right now.
Yeah, my opinion is much lower. I think this guy's not very good. I think like you have Draven that draws multiple cards a turn potentially, and this that has like such a strict restriction on when he gets to draw. He's not even like once per turn. He's once per cycle. Like you have to like, at least currently, you have to really go out of your way. I don't like a lot of the double target cards. In fact, the Ezreal decks I was playing couldn't even really trigger his effect. It was just he is a very good chosen champion. So that was a very good Sig spell. So like that was part of it. But like, I don't think this champion's very good, to be honest. I think they're just better options. Even if you have a deck that can target multiple times a turn consistently, I still don't think this is very good. I give this guy actually a 4 out of 10. I'm a real hater. Like, I just don't think he's very good. Like, I think he's very restrictive.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, I am also a real hater on this leader. I think the best line of text that you get from Ezreal is the ability to play Ezreal's signature champion, the purple one. We've had a lot of games with this deck where you can see your entire deck, you can draw every single card, but your deck doesn't do anything, so it doesn't finish the game. Yeah. When I think about Ezreal's actual leader ability, I think about like comparing this card to Lux, which is one of the worst leaders from set 1. Just drawing a card off, like I cast Singularity in Ezreal, which lets me draw a card. Cast Singularity in Lux, which lets me draw a card. I'm noticing a trend with the playability of these leaders that are like require me to do something very particular in order to get these draws. It's only once per cycle. I think moving forward, the fact that you can see most of your deck every single game might mean that all they're missing is like either one like combo end game or one like mid game broken card that would really make this deck, this particular leader, strong. Like if we could get like a 5 power guy that was some sort of removals, or a 5 cost guy 1 power that had some sort of removal spell, then Ezreal's signature looks a lot better. Then it's like something you can dig for. But I think overall the strengths of this leader can't really be utilized with the current cards that are available. So I think Alex is a little bit too much of a hater. I think 5 is probably the right number for me.
Nope. 4. He's lucky he got a 4.
Yeah, the thing about Ezreal that confuses me is I just don't understand when you look at this card and you compare it to Draven, and you're just like, how does the balance team actually value? Like, it makes it seem like they don't value drawing a card in the same way. Like these two things, like this one is
from color to color,
so restrictive, and you have to tap it. Like it's hard. It's almost blank as it is with the current card pool. There's very few scenarios where you can trigger this draw. So like this is like Jinx, maybe only going to get you 1, 2, 3 draws a game max probably. And then like Draven is just drawing like 8 or 9 cards a game, not having to tap himself, not having to jump through any hoops whatsoever.
Draven can casually draw 4 cards in a turn cycle if you want.
Right.
If it lines up right.
So I just don't understand. Like the only thing I can think of is that it's in blue, and they already figure, well, blue's got infinite draw, and purple's got infinite filter.
Yeah.
So like we don't want them going too crazy with it. But as we've already said, like we already found ways to draw our whole deck with purple in general. I just don't understand why. And it's not like Draven isn't in purple. He is in purple. So like you still gave it to purple. Maybe it's just a blue thing because they gave it Ancestral Recall or something. It's just weird. It just, from a design standpoint, doesn't make sense to me that this is such a restrictive draw one. And then you've got so many other unrestricted, better leaders. And that's where Ezreal kind of misses the mark for me. It's just that he's not going to do... He's a blank leader most of the time. His 6 spell's cool. His champs are decent, even though both of them died of Falling Star. But yeah.
Unfortunately. There's another drink for Alex. Dies to Falling Star.
Yeah, I just think that's my issue with them. I think this color combo is really good. I was excited to see what it was going to do outside of Teemo, and then we saw Ezreal, and I'm still just kind of disappointed. I do think his 6 spell is really solid, and we'll talk about that next. But yeah, I think it's like a 5 for me as well. Middle of the pack. Next up, we got Arcane Shift for 3 energy and a power. This is Ezreal's signature spell. It is action speed, and it says banish a friendly unit. Then its owner plays it, ignoring its cost. Deal 3 to an enemy unit at a battlefield. Banish this card.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen a card like this really in the game. Obviously, Portal Rescue is the closest that we have, but this card is... way different from that, as it plays it anywhere, which is important. You can even, like, if you have a Thousand Tail Watcher defending, then you can banish it, play it back exactly where it was to get the effect of -3ing your opponent's board, and then, you know, deal 3 to kill something that's coming in. Even if it's a 6 might guy, then actually it's just dead to Thousand Tail Watcher shifting it. That being said, it's... those situations seem a little bit too Magical Christmas Land for me, and the grand scheme of things, like having a Thousand Tail Watcher survive is pretty rare. And then, you know, you have to have enough units on both sides of the battlefield in order for it to be truly devastating for your opponent. But I think this is a type of card that will scale the more of those types of effects we have going throughout the game. So, yeah, I think the card's good. I'll give it like a 7. It's just not strong enough to carry Ezreal as a deck right now. But I would love to be proven wrong.
Alex?
Big fan. I love this card. I think this is like one of the things with the champion unit that actually carries Ezreal. But I do think one of the biggest flaws this card has, and I think Colin mentioned this, is that you do actually need 2 targets for this to actually cast it. And that's kind of one of the biggest holdups of this card, is just needing, your opponent has to have a guy and you have to have a guy. So like on a raw board, like if you have guys and they don't, you can't cast it. If they have guys and you don't, you can't cast it. And that's like one of the things that like keeps this card from reaching its true potential. Personally, I think this card is a 7 out of 10. Its line of text is like insane, in my opinion. It's just having to have a target on both sides really lowers the utility to a point where it actually is like a detriment to this card. But yeah, this is like one of the first cards that blinks reliably outside of the portal. And this is far more viable than that card is. It does give you one of the targets for Ezreal, so there's some level of synergy. Unfortunately, the Ezreal really should have said just when you targeted general, it didn't matter whose thing you targeted. So the 6 spell, yes, this 6 spell could have just been draw a card, and it would have like made it elevated Ezreal a lot. But like, I think that was a big miss on their part. I don't know why it needed to target an opponent's thing. It could have just been just as fine. There's not a lot of self-targeting things in purple or blue, so it's not like this card would have been insane by any means. And because of all these things in mind, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a very solid card, but I just think all these little restrictions kind of keep it from reaching its true greatness.
Yeah, I mean, so I agree on the 7 out of 10. This is the type of card that will scale the more sets are out and the more options you have. It's just really about like the the way that the deck is set up now, it doesn't have enough value that it gets of the signature spell to like actually close out the game. So like I can play a Riptide Rex and have it be a good blink target, but it has to get into the point and it has to live, and then my opponent has to like swing a 9 power guy in, and then I get to do the blink, and I'm really happy about it. The more enter the battlefield triggers that come out, the more value the signature spell will get. And in other card games, these blink effects basically do nothing until there's a critical mass of good things to blink with it, and then it goes straight to this deck's broken. Like we need to restrict it somehow. So we just need to see. I think as of right now, it's like a reasonable card. It's a card that you want to play 3 of. In the future, I think it'll get better with more support.
Yeah, I think it's a 7 for me as well. I think Arcane Shift is really strong. I think like the main thing holding it back is the fact that the enemy target has to be at a battlefield. Like it's not just deal it at base. It has to be at a battlefield. So they have to have something there for you to even be able to cast this card. But there's scenarios where it's like still super nice, even offensively, like being able to, take my Fox on one side, like, and then blink it, run over the other side. Like that's pretty cool if you can pull something like that off. There is some cool plays with the card. But it's just a little too restricted, and like everyone said, we just don't have enough blink effects that really matter right now. But if we continue to get more of those, it'll be even stronger as time goes on. Next up, we've got the Kim Baroness, Renata Glasc legend. It's Mind and Order. When you or an ally hold, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. While your score is within 3 points of the victory score, your gold adds an additional 1 energy.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in this card, unfortunately. As cool as it seems, it just doesn't really work out practically. Hold decks aren't something that really exists. The only time that you're ever holding is if your opponent just like misses the play on turn 1, which you're probably winning that game anyways. And the second effect is really good, but in order to do that, you kind of have to fill your deck with a bunch of weenies to push points early in order to get those scores, and then like you have to find some way to win the game after you've amassed these gold tokens. And typically it's done with like a Time Warp plus her Chosen Champ combo. It all sounds really good in theory, but in practice it just doesn't really seem to work out in any way that is relevant for whatever reason. This is something that we will still keep experimenting with, but she has not impressed me so far. I think it's just a little bit too magical Christmas land for everything to line up for Miss Glasc here. So I'm going to give her a 5, but maybe someone will be able to break her and she'll do something as time goes on.
I just want to ask, did we all give the last one a 7 out of 10? Because I missed that.
Yes, I think so.
I did.
I think I might have given it a 6.
Oh.
I think I gave it a 6.
Well, I stumbled on
anyways,
this. I stumbled on this card text anyway, so there you go, buddy.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you can have that one.
As the resident Renata Glasc player, I like Renata. I think once you hit 5 points, she really starts to pop off. All that being said, it's kind of hard because you're reaching this like balance of trying to make your deck able to actually reach 5 points and trying to make your deck actually be able to pop off when you do reach those 5 points. And I've had a lot of success with her when you go first. The problem is when you don't go first, she kind of collapses and just isn't able to score the 5 points. Without Victor's ability to, in this color combination, to generate an extra guy, it's actually really hard to produce enough bodies to actually be able to score those 5 points, especially against a deck like Kai'Sa. I think this is like somewhere in the realm of combo deck, and I really like this. This is like the deck Time Warp has been begging for from the beginning. All that being said, kind of like Colin said, it's like a little unimpressive as of now. She's got 2 line of text, and they're both very good. But right now, there's not a consistent way to make use of her ability. I think the ceiling on this legend is very high, given that it does like make mana. But right now, it's not been all that impressive. But I do have hope. I like this leader. I like the chosen champ. It is very in my like wheelhouse. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. I like it. It's not there yet, but I believe that it could be one day.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower on this leader than Alex is. I think 5 out of 10 is about where I'd say it's at. I think usually the hold line of text is fake because not only is holding hard in this game, but also in this color combination, holding is not really like you're a token deck or you're running like you're usually not running a wall in these colors. So the part where you're actually going to get to generate a gold off the hold, I don't think is coming up very often. The ability to generate extra mana is really where this leader shines. And I think the deck right now does not have a good way to simultaneously get to the 5-point threshold and draw enough cards to like set up a combo kill. In the future, few extra draw cards a few extra token generators that are cheap, a few extra draw cards could really see this leader shine. I think so. That's where I'm just right in the middle on her right now. I think she could either do nothing or accidentally break a meta and be ban worthy. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. If she could find a way to score more points going second, maybe. But
yeah, the biggest problem is the going second issue for sure. And many such cases, right? But like the going second. Is that one of the drunk things? I didn't even know that was one of the
that is literally on the sheet. That is literally on the sheet.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was one of the
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll drink to that, brother.
Yeah, going second is so bad in this game. But
yes, it is.
I was really hyped about this leader initially, like seeing the support. I was really excited to play this color combo. I liked Victor a lot early. I was singing the praises of Victor, but then the more that we saw this Kaisa card and when we actually started testing a Cathian Rain, I became very disillusioned with Victor. But I still really liked the color combo of what this color had to offer, and I was hyped for Glasc because I thought, okay, well, this gold, we'll actually be able to like play my singularities and stuff and not have to deramp myself. But it just doesn't end up working out that well unless you go first. Obviously, if your opponent misses a play as well, that can work out, but going first is probably the best way. And yeah, even when you do all this, I just don't know what the payoff is yet. We probably just need more pieces that work with this. I think her Sig spell that we'll talk about in a little bit is very powerful. I'm a big fan of that card. Not as big a fan of her chosen champs. Like, I think that the blue one is fine. The yellow one is like reads more like a Victor and Azir card than this deck. Like, I guess you could play a token based Renata strategy and maybe that's a way to score 5 easier or something, but I don't know. Just doesn't seem like the cool time walk premonition deck I was envisioning, at least, but maybe we'll get there at some point. I do think the legend could be broken at some point. I'm just gonna give her a 5 for now, though.
Haters.
Prove us wrong at some point. And
I'm still gonna brew on it. Next up, we got Hasa.
I think that is something important. Just real quick, I think that is something important to keep in mind. Even when we're giving these leaders sort of like sad evaluations, that doesn't mean we're going to stop brewing on them, because we're always trying to find something that is like ahead of the curve or that nobody else is playing. So even if you're kind of disappointed, like that they rated the leader that I really want to play poorly, that doesn't mean that a week from now we might be like we won't find something that's crazy and just completely breaks the deck.
Yeah, we've only been testing for like about a week, maybe a little more than a week now, so like we've still, that's why we haven't put out a tier list yet. Like we're still very early in our assessment of the card pool and the format. And even it's still good to know what even the middle tier leaders do, just because like you don't want to get caught with your pants down like me versus Gale playing Yasuo and just like get absolutely pounded. Not that there was anything I think I could have done about that anyway, but
I only lost 2 matches in Houston, and one of them was to a Darius player, which notably it was not remotely close to the top of our expectations for the event. So
Right.
it is important to know what all these decks do, where they're getting an edge, where their weak points are as well.
So next up, we've got Renata Glasc signature spell, Hostile Takeover for 5 energy and 2 power. This card can be hidden. Notably, though, it is not action or reaction speed. I watched the tournament, I think, happen recently where someone was trying to play this at action speed. I was like, yeah, that card would have been crazy, but no. Take control of an enemy unit at a battlefield and ready it. It starts at combat if other enemies are there. Otherwise, you conquer that battlefield. Then lose control of that unit and recall it at the end of the turn.
A super strong card, right? That is incredible. Like as it reads, you can, if your opponent only has 1 unit of battlefield, then you can take it. You can score a point, and then you sack it off to your Cold of the Week, right? That's like its kind of default.
Yeah, that's your dream.
Best mode. Yeah, it's a crazy combo. The hidden part is not as strong as I initially thought it would be reading it. Obviously, playing like a 5 energy, 2 power cost for a single power is absurd, but it only really just like kind of fogs something for a turn.
Yeah, it's like a stun.
Thousand Tail Butcher. Yeah, exactly. It's almost just like
similar to like a face breaker type card.
Yeah, but the fact that this card is modal is crazy, right? Where it's either a face breaker or it's a score a point and make your opponent like sack 2 guys if you combine it with Cole. So I think it's good. Giving it like a number, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. I do think it is a really strong card, and if there's a reason Renata is playable, it's because of this.
So I'm of the opinion this is the strongest Sig spell in the set. I know we all jerk off Draven's Axe, but I think that this is actually like, you remove the fact that Renata is like not the greatest leader in the world. This is the strongest Sig spell in the set by far, and I can justify that very easily. One, it's straight up just change of heart. Like this is incredible. Even at 2, like hidden, obviously having the upside is huge, so it's only 1 power. But even at 2 power, Renata, like I said, just wants to get to 5, and this instantly gets you a point. Like when you're just like, oh, I don't control the battlefield. They have 1 guy in the battlefield. Just snatch their guy, move to the battlefield, score 1. Like this is just like this card. Literally, you just read score 1, and then when you have Cold of the Week, it's got even higher upside. Like I just think this card's incredible. I actually think this card's better than Draven's Axe. Unfortunately, everyone here had to give Draven's Axe a 9. But in a vacuum, I think it's held back only by the fact that Renata is not the best legend in the world. But one thing and this is a kind of a rant, so I'll get ready to drink. But one thing that bothers me is, so when you take their guy at a battlefield, it goes to your battlefield, but it readies it. But that doesn't do anything unless the card randomly has ganking that you're stealing. So readying the unit, I don't know why that line of text was in there. And my theory, and I think we've talked about this before, is that every other take control of a guy card in Magic has the line of text ready the guy. And I think they just like kept that on there. But readying the guy doesn't actually do anything unless it is ganking or you have another untapped type effect, because all you do is move it back to base. So I'm not sure why they had the ready line of text. I still to this day cannot decipher what the reason for that line of text was. It does have niche upside, of course, but like this card could have probably just said take it back tapped, and like the difference was negligible. They didn't need to give it this random upside, going back to the like, oh, adding extra line of text to a card, even if they're niche, only makes it better. So yeah, I guess like to use its abilities to gank, but like I don't think that line of text was necessary to make this card broken. All that being said, I think this card is a 9 out of 10. It's absolutely insane. We've never seen anything like this in this game. Its only downside is just that it is a Renata Glasc card. If it was not, like if this card was in one of the playable leaders like Irelia, like Draven or whatever, this card would probably be a 10 out of 10. But because of that, I'm giving it a 9. That's a rant.
I think 9 is a reasonable score for this card. It is very, very strong. I think the rest of the deck just holds it back a bit. The ability to essentially, I mean, stealing a large unit, conquering a point, then sending it off with Call of the Week is remarkable. Even if it's just a late game situation and your opponent's holding up a point, like they threw a Watcher into the point, scored to 7, you can do something like steal their Watcher and then send into the other side to conquer for the last point. I think the card's very strong. It's a unique effect in the game. The only other card that does something similar, I think, is Possession, and that one just sends it back to base. I think this card will be really strong. If Renata is good, this will be the reason why. So basically what everybody else was saying. Or Alex, I can't remember if he said all of
that. Who knows when it comes to his ramblings.
Yeah, I think like the
I might
like
just be repeating exactly what Alex said.
Yeah, the card's like a solid 8 pushing a 9 for me. Probably can just go 9. I do think the card is so powerful. The hidden actually can be relevant too, like just being able to hide this for 1 and like you could still, you can't call the weak, but like you could still hidden blade the unit when you steal it on their turn, like just to draw a bunch of cards. Like you have more synergies than just Call the Weak in yellow specifically. Like I guess if you wanted to even play Blade of the Ruined King in the deck, you could use the guy to sack it to equip a blade.
All right, now we're cooking. This is our next brew.
But yeah, there's I just think that the possession effects are cool. This is basically Threaten from Magic the Gathering, and yeah, I think it's cool. These types of effects are interesting, and putting it on a hidden was interesting too. So I think it's just one of the reasons to even play Glasc at all, like everyone else already said.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got Sivir Legend, the Battle Mistress. She is Body and Chaos. When you recycle a ruin, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. And when 1 or more enemy units die, ready me.
Finally, a legend I don't really have much to say on. We've tested Sivir a little bit. She does not perform nearly to the standard that she needs to. I think this is definitely a metal card only leader. Her ability to give you additional power over the course of a game is kind of nice, but it's pretty slow. You know, you don't get to immediately use the gold. You have to recycle a rune, and then next turn you get to save yourself a single power. So it's like, it's just very, very slow. The readying her ability just doesn't really make any sense in the context of how it plays out, because there's just no, like, it's very rare that you're going to spend a power, kill something, ready her, spend another power. Like, you're just going to run out of power before any of it ends up coming up. So originally reading her, I thought it was pretty strong, because it was like, oh, you only pay half as much on your power costs. But between that and her chosen champions all being completely unplayable, as well as their Sig spell, spoilers not being very good, I think she's the legend I'm the least excited about out of this set. So I'm honestly going to give her like a 3 out of 10.
I think Colin was too nice. I'm not going to take a drink for that.
I also think Colin was too nice.
I think this... I'm going to be real with you. I think this bitch sucks ass. Like, she's god-awful. I can think of like 30 reasons I wouldn't play her, but the biggest is... This is just like a design fail, in my opinion. Like, the contradiction between her effect and wanting to spend energy, because you have to... What happens is you have to spend... You have to get rid of a rune to get the gold, but then by getting rid of the rune, you're actually down energy for the turn. And I just absolutely despise that. Like, it just, like, it's a contradictory effect. And then, like, even when you ready her, okay, now you have to spend another rune to activate her. So, like, you're now down 2 energy, because even as nice as it is that you get gold, the gold doesn't equal energy. So when you're spending a rune, you're not only losing a power for next turn, but you're also losing the energy. So while she replaces the power that you would lose, she doesn't replace the energy that you would lose. And her effect is extremely contradictory. Her chosen champion, both of them, one of them is just god-awful, and the other one of them is just really not that good. I think she's one of the worst legends in the set. I'm not a big fan. I'm gonna give her 2 out of 10. Like I've seen people put her in S tier. I think that's trolling. I think that's engagement bait.
It was bait.
I've seen the people who've made these tier lists too, and I know they're decent players. So I want to actually give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's engagement bait and that they don't truly believe these things. But I could go on and on and on about why I think this legend is not good, but I'm just gonna leave it at this 2 out of 10. Like she's not awful enough to get a 1. Like I think she's like just I hate her design concept. That's what I hate the most about her. Like I think she's probably on par with Rumble, which I think I gave a 4. But like realistically, her design is so contradictory to what she wants to do. And I think the second line of text is like it's not even niche enough to be good. It just like kind of sucks. I don't like her 6 spell either. I know some people do, but I'm not a fan. 2 out of 10.
I share the sentiment of 2 out of 10. And this was one of the leaders I was the most excited to brew with when when Orlando was done. It was one of the first decks I like cooked up. And what I found is that the leader ability rewards you for playing this sort of like tempo style where you're trying to play cards like Rebuke and cheat on the mana. You're trying to play cards like Punch Out and cheat on the mana a little bit. But the problem is you're a tempo deck that's like constantly de-ramping yourself. And there's no way in the colors to like reward you for that gameplay. You're just gonna have to sit there at like 4 mana. You'll have a billion cards in your hand because that's how purple decks work right now. You can play like Ezreal, you can play Called Shot. So you'll have like 50 cards in your hand and they won't do anything because the deck doesn't have enough ways at low cost to interact with the board favorably. Like all of your guys are sort of weenies. You can't really play any big creatures for the cheap mana. And so you get into these spots where like I had like a 15 card hand and I had seen my entire deck and I still can't find a way to push through like a 10 power point because if my guy's like a 4 and a punch first doesn't do it. I'm sitting here with like 5 runes in play. I think maybe there's a world in the future where this leader gets something, but I think 2 out of 10 would not recommend playing this at the event. The only thing she's good for is metal card farming. I really hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong.
I see someone said Tog put her in S tier. I'm going to say 2 things. I don't know Tog at all. This is Colin's man. I don't know this guy through a hole in the wall, but I will say...
it was
I'm
slash
sure
S,
competent...
Alex. It was a sarcasm.
Slash S, sure.
Yeah, they did put slash
I'm
S.
sure this guy's a very competent player. I think one of 2 things happened here that like one of his boys or him went on a heater with it and just said this leader's incredible, or 2, that post was engagement bait. In either case, I don't fault him for that. Like I have no like qualms with him saying this. Our testing does not reflect that. That's all I'm going to say about it. Like I don't know what happened in his testing where he felt this was S tier. But I can say that in our very, I won't even say extensive, somewhat limited, but like we probably played 10 games of Sivir, and nothing.
I think I by myself played about 10 games, and you jammed another 10, so it's probably like 20.
Right, in 20 games, and that's not a lot, but like nothing about this said this legend was good.
Yeah,
like there was
did
nothing,
not impress
like,
in any way. Yeah, there was no like, maybe
it
this
was
part
very
of it is
bad.
cool. No, nothing.
No, it was just when you being players at our level, and I don't mean to sound conceited when I say this, you develop a feel for when there could be something there with a legend, and I don't think this hit any of our radars. Like none of us said, okay, wait, hold up. We lost a lot, but maybe there's something here, because that does happen in the testing process. None of us said this hits our radar. There's something here. Maybe we're missing something. I'm just not a believer, and I'll be happy to be proven wrong when this deck wins a regional or whatever. I'll be the first one to come out and say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm a bozo, whatever it may be, but I just don't see it. I'm not feeling this legend. Anton, I think
was it just me? Oh, okay. We had been doing a different order. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I think that Sivir's pretty bad based on what we've seen. Yeah, basically don't have too much more to add. I just don't. This is just another one of those legends that I'm just really baffled by the how they scale these power on these legend abilities, because I just feel like not only do these two things not really work well with each other outside of, I guess, equipment, which is maybe what they meant it for. Like, I just don't see too many instances where you're killing a unit and then you also are recycling some point later if you already like paid a power cost for development. So I guess it's meant to be used with weapons, but yeah, just nothing about this deck is impressive. I do think that the Sig spell is actually like all right. I don't know that it's good, but it's an interesting Sig spell, and I guess we can talk about that next.
Yeah, that's next on the list.
On the Hunt is her Sig spell for 1 energy and 2 power. You ready all your units.
This card looked very good initially, and then we started playing with it, and we're like, oh no, this card sucks.
Yep.
There's just like, I don't know.
Do you think that
There's
this
not
card
really
would
much
Why
to
does it
say
cost
about
2 power? Why does it cost 2 power? That's what bothers the most. There's only 2.
Well, I can
cards
tell
in
you the
world.
reason
Well,
why
it's
it costs
supposed to
2
be
power.
the
It's
end
because
game.
the whole gimmick with Sivir is that your 2 power cards only cost 1 power.
No,
That's the
I
gimmick.
get like it's supposed to
Except-
synergize. Like it's bad synergy though. Like it's
Yes.
like giving
Yes, it
synergy for the sake of giving synergy. Like I despise those types of things. Like, oh, the Sivir triggers because you spent 2 power. Like, no, I'd rather this just be 1 power instead of triggering my stupid Sivir that does nothing.
Mhm.
Like this is also one of 2 cards I believe in the game that has a power cost that exceeds its actual energy cost. The other being Premonition, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Also punch
Punch
first.
If I'm wrong.
Yeah, punch first.
Oh, punch,
punch
first.
first,
Sure.
yeah,
So 3.
sure.
3.
And
Yep.
the other 2 are good. Interesting.
Yes, the other 2 are like incredible cards, and this just isn't doing it for me as a Sig spell. Readying your units is just like fine, but you can only score 2 a turn.
Yeah.
Like you have some number of ganking guys, but I don't know what world I want to spend 2 power to like ready these things. I don't understand the function.
Let's compare this card to First Mate. Would I rather pay 3 mana up front for a First Mate, or would I rather pay 1 mana this turn and 2 mana for the rest of the game? Like it's just not even close.
While not having a body.
Yeah, I just
while not having a body.
I think this is one of the worst Sig spells in the set. This and Rumbles are kind of up there for me.
Yeah.
As like the worst Sig spells. And funny enough, they both cost 1. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or what, but like I always like to say 1
Well,
mana
they figured
cards are broken.
Showstopper was a little too good for 1 mana, so they decided to make the 1 mana ones pretty unplayable.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
made Aurelia's.
Well, Aurelia's is
Yeah,
nice.
Aurelia's is insane.
Sometimes
Aurelia's is broken, yeah.
Yeah, the 1 mana spells like they're like hit or miss, and for Showstopper, depending on what tournament you're playing in, sometimes they cost nothing. Like sometimes they're free, and then they're super broken. But
It's just this entire champ was just a complete miss on their design team.
Yep.
I don't know what they were thinking. They made all of her stuff cost way too much power. Her between the 3 Sigs that she has, being her Sig spell and her 2 chosen champions, the average power cost is above 2 per card.
Yep.
So like,
Oh my
the
God,
benefit,
yeah.
quote unquote, that she gets per her ability to produce gold and reduce, like they must have thought that was like so powerful that they're like, oh, but we got to make all of her signature stuff cost an average more than 2 per fucking card. Like that's absurd. And her Sig isn't even that good. Like her ability isn't that good. None of this stuff is good. So yeah, I think she's the for sure metal card leader only tier, and
I don't even
think
sorry to all that.
I don't even think she's good enough to metal card. I
mean,
this is,
she's
like,
better than Garen.
Every leader is good
She's-
enough to
she's,
metal
like,
card.
Probably better
she's
than
better
Garen.
than Garen, but like
Wait.
I don't
I
know.
have to ask the question: is she actually better than Garen?
if you made a
know if
legend of
she's
my
better than
grandma, she
Yeah,
would
she's
be
better than Garen.
Like
Well, but Garen
But-
gets to run Dazzling Aurora, right?
So does she.
Yeah.
she does too.
So does
She's
Sarah.
orange.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
She's
No,
in
okay,
enough
you're right.
colors, Yeah.
Yeah, she could just
No,
be
yeah.
bad
Alright,
MM.
yeah. All right, I think I've got
Yeah.
I think I got a metal card idea for Sivir.
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I think so
no.
too.
You're playing MF on hard mode at this rate, but sure.
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
On the Hunt
Yeah.
is actually decent with a bunch of bombs, like gives ganking to your whole board basically. But yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
don't think it's as good as Bullet Time, but yeah, sure. Like,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. I'm just saying it's
Also accurate.
playable. I'm just saying it's playable. But yeah,
Playable.
I think On the
So
Hunt.
is Garen. So
I think On the Hunt's actually
So
a
is Garen.
decent card. I'm not quite as low as On the Hunt as everyone else here. I do think it's meant to be like mostly a closer, like just vomit your hand,
Yeah.
untap everything, and that's how you like finish the game. I do think that it's
Yeah.
hard to vomit your hand when you're paying power costs every turn, which is why it's kind of
Every turn.
antithetical to how the design of the champion works, which is very questionable. But I do think like this is, and that's sad to say, but this is probably one of the better reasons to play Sivir at all, and that's really sad because it's not that impressive.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, joke's on
mean,
you,
you
Anton. I don't know what the word antithetical means, so I'm gonna just default your rating to a 1 out of 10 and finish my drink.
Sure.
No.
And
Yeah.
I think
Something like that.
finishing your drink on Sivir is probably a good way to.
No, we're
Good
we're
way.
gonna finish up on the
This
greatest
is,
champion ever printed.
Oh yeah, we got
this
one.
is the
one leader.
final legend to talk about, the Grand Duelist. We're a fan of duelists around
True
here.
duelist. Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
And in body and order, this legend reads: when one of your units becomes mighty, you may exhaust me to channel 1 ruin exhausted.
Wow, a legend that actually exhausts itself for its ability. Huh?
I
feel like
long
we've
for a worthy opponent.
we've talked enough about that, and Alex is going to go on one of his world famous rants. About
I
this one,
have
so,
no equal.
Yeah, I'll just
Or
say
he's-
that I'm not a fan of this legend as the set guy for set 1, who's obviously in the same color combination. I think set's better. It's just being able to actually recur guys is much stronger than Fiora, who will ramp you to a color combination that really has no potential payoffs. So, yeah, I think there is potential here. It's just not something that we've seen yet, so I'm gonna give her a 6 out of 10, and let Alex go off.
Yeah, I think my issue with this, and I've tried everything Fiora, she's one of the best 6 spells in the set, but I think the biggest issue is they did not print enough payoff for her. We had very long conversations about Fiora and what her payoff is and what that should look like, but I think the biggest issue is, and I don't want them to spoon feed me like mechanics or archetypes, to be honest, but I also think I don't understand what the payoff here is for this Fiora. Like, okay, you do all this ramping, but then what? Like, I think this is a very like fine line of text. It's not incredible. My issue is just that there's no real great payoff in this color combination, and I feel like set just does what this deck wants to do better. The one payoff I do see with this deck is Judgment, and believe me, I've been trying to make it work, but it does not feel great. Like, okay, you have a lot of power, there's just nothing to do with it, is how I feel a lot of the time. So I think, in my opinion, this leader has a great line of text, but it's not incredible. Like, it's fine. You're in a decent color combination. I just am not in love with it. I think the Sig spell carries it a lot. I think most of the champion units are not all that great. Like, in fact, my preferred champion unit is the set 1/1. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I think it's fine. And this is with a lot of personal bias. I really wanted to be able to play this champion. And I don't even play League. I have no attachment to Fiora. But I like the idea behind this. I don't know. It's not there yet. There has to be better payoff than this. And I feel like this is not it. They just didn't print enough cards to get mighty. Like, the literal best card in this deck with this mechanic is Set Brawler, because when he comes in play, he comes in as a 4, he gets the counter, he gets mighty, you tap it, next turn you remove the counter, he goes down to 4, and then he goes up 4, so he gets mighty again. and that's a set 1 card. So it's like kind of feels like a design fail from my perspective. So 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think every card in this color combination was balanced around set, and when the cards aren't able to save themselves by expending a buff, you just don't do anything. Set Brawler's like a great unit in set, completely like mediocre in this deck. The Fiora unit is extremely strong in set, being a 5-power attacker, 6-power defender. When she dies, you just bring her back into base. In this deck, she becomes 5-power and then a 6-power defender, and then dies to a cleave Darius or just a regular Darius with the mustache. Like just pick anything she dies to, she stays dead. I don't think they really thought this one through. There's like no reward if you're going to turbo ramp. There's not enough good equipments in the colors to have her be like the equipment maker, like the equipment support in the colors. I just think it's a design fail. Really doesn't synergize well enough with what the colors are allowed to do. Her one
it's also a fault
quality
that,
is her.
There's a fault of set, right? His set is like already so strong in this color combination that I think otherwise the cards in this color combination, like I think this is one of the weakest color combinations that exists.
I agree with that.
Just from
I think
the fundamental level.
Yeah, I think
but
set carries the
being
color
able to,
combo
like, play
because
infinite Zanyas.
yes, he's carrying the color combo because he's like a 9 or a 10.
Yes.
Like
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like
his leader ability is so strong that you can run. Yeah.
Yeah. That plus Showstopper is a crazy card,
Yep.
and his Trojan Champs are like not the best, but they're good enough.
They're
right?
solid.
They're serviceable.
I mean, they're both good.
They're both very good.
Yeah, they just both cost just cost power. That's
Yes.
their only biggest thing. Is the deck is already so power heavy.
For sure.
So, yeah, I don't expect to see much of Miss Fiora, but who knows? Her 6 spell is strong enough that maybe she'll see.
6 spell is very good.
Yeah, I think I'm lower on Fiora. I'm like a 4 on her. I think that this card requires way too much.
I don't think I gave her a rating. I was going to give her a 3.
Oh my god,
3 is crazy.
They just hate her because she's a woman. They don't want to see a woman rise up.
Not true at all. Like that.
Is that
Volibear does the same thing infinitely easier. Like it doesn't require any freaking setup. Doesn't have to make 2 moving parts. Like
a woman?
No, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe he is. She is. They are. I don't know. All right. Next up is Riposte. Signature spell of Fiora for 2 energy and 2 power at reaction speed. This spell says choose a friendly unit and a spell, counter that spell, and give that unit plus might equal to that spell's energy cost this turn.
Broken
card. Its only downside is that you have to have a target, so you do have to have a friendly unit in order to be able to play this card. But outside of that, it's just a strictly better Wind Wall, which is a card that has seen a lot of play already in a color combination that does not have access to counter spells. So, and then, if you ever counter something large, then the secondary side is honestly going to be a lot less impactful than it is just being access to a Wind Wall for 1 less energy. It's just because like most of the things that you're trying to Wind Wall, like time warps and the like, are just not going to, they're not going to swing in afterwards, right? So, but yeah, a better Wind Wall is a pretty good card. I don't think it's enough to carry Fiora, so for that reason I'll give it like an 8, but it is a good card. It's like a Wind Wall that will also trigger your Fiora Legend ability. So
I think this card is top 5 6 spells, probably like top 3 6 spells in the set. I think this card alone kind of like carries Fiora a lot. Pretty much agree with all of Colin's sentiments. And the 2 power is like kind of negligible because your legend is just ramping the runes. I think the biggest thing is just when you have things that are not intended to have like all these counters are in green and they randomly put it in this leader. I think this card's incredible. That being said, the few things that hold it back from perfection is you are in like a 6 out of 10 leader. You do require a unit on the board, which is like another like slight downside. Like I don't think this card ever gets to 10 because it's just like a good counter spell, but I do think that requiring a unit kind of holds it back. It is a SIG spell, so it can only be played in one deck, but I agree with Colin's assessment. It is an 8 out of 10. I'm very positive about this card, though. I think it's one of the best SIG spells in the game, and I think it's one of the reasons to play Fiora right now with her not having the payoff, like I mentioned before. So I'm just a big fan of this card. I think it's incredible. Again, second line of text, like it just gives a pump. It didn't need to do that. It would have probably been an 8 out of 10 without that line of text, but offering the pump is incredible, especially like, God forbid you get like you counter a time warp, now your guy's plus 10. So just very, very solid card. Big fan. One of the best SIG spells in the set.
Yeah, I think my evaluation is a little bit lower. I would put it at about a 7. I don't think it might be top 5. I'd have to really think about like every SIG in the set, but the card itself is really good. I think you're probably playing 3 in Fiora every single time. I think it's really unfortunate you have to play it Fiora in order to get this effect. The combination kind of holds it back. The leader kind of holds it back. But the card itself, very, very strong. Reason to be in Fiora.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add. I think Wind Wall in this color is nice. If you're trying to be in this color pair and you want a great negation spell, I guess you can try making Fiora work. And that's going to be it for our review. We have finally gotten through all of Spiritforged, so yay. Good for us.
In a reasonable 15 hours.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Something
I
like that.
talking about cards. So.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed our yapping and our drinking game today. Hope you guys have a good holiday. We're probably going to be back next week on Wednesday for a stream. I'm not sure if we're going to be looking at doing the tier list in one of those streams or if we're just going to be like streaming games. We might stream some of our testing games to YouTube starting on Wednesdays like we do in our Discord. And speaking of our Discord, if you haven't checked out our Metafy, you should definitely check that out. We offer subscription tiers at different levels, and we offer lots of different guides now. We have like 3 different guides up. Make sure to check out the Master Yi guide that we just dropped. Daniel here, who's our guest appearance, he's the regional finalist.
I did well with Yi.
He's our regional finalist, so he did great at the first regional with it. We've got a lot of experience on that deck, and that was the spicy list that we came up with. So make sure to check out the guide if you're interested in playing Aurora Yi at your upcoming skirmishes. Follow the channel, subscribe to us if you aren't already. Leave a like on the stream and any of our videos if you guys like what we're doing, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone.
See you. Merry, happy, yeah. You know what I'm saying. Happy holidays.